Hey, if you're new to my channel, then consider liking and subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me, and honestly, it'd make my day. If you already did, thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you like listening to fan fiction, check out my other channel. The link's in the description.
The Comet Wish by Moriana 19. What would you do if one night you made a wish on a comet, and the next morning woke up on the Going Merry? Join Rose, an otaku who's about to have the adventure of a lifetime, as she lives through the arcs of One Piece with the Straw Hats. Adios.
Days have passed since Garp's visit and Rose has been growing more anxious by the day. She, Luffy and Zera were watching Sabo and Ace sparring with their pipes. Rose watches the fight anxiously. If we prevent Sabo from getting taken by his dad, he might be safe. But if we leave, his dad could easily take him again, and this time he might not be able to escape. Luffy turns to her in confusion. "Are you okay, Rukia? Don't worry, they'll be fine." She snaps out of it, then grins at Luffy. "I'm okay, Luffy. Who do you think will win?" "I think Ace will." Ace smirks at this as he charges at Sabo, but he blocks and they keep clashing with their pipes. Zera looks at Rose in concern. She's bottling things up again. She's worried about Sabo. Rose softly sighs as she watches the fight. "If I save him from the explosion and help him escape, he would be safe from his dad, but what then? He's definitely not strong enough for the ocean yet. I don't think Korra would allow us to bring him to the future either." Sabo knocks the pipe out of Ace's hand and hits him on the head. "I win." Rose gets up and steps up to them. "Good match. Which one of you wants to take me on now?" Zera groans in irritation, then flies behind Rose and tugs her by the hood of her jacket with her talons and half drags her into the woods. Rose turns her head in shock as she's trying to keep her footing as they're moving. "Zera, what are you?" "You're coming with me, Rukia. Boys, we'll be right back." They nod as they continue practicing while Zera brings her to a clearing in the woods, then flies right in front of her. "I can't bear seeing you like this anymore. I know you're worried about Sabo, and you're not leaving until we talk about it right now." "Is it that noticeable?" Rose softly sighs, then leans back against a tree behind her, sits down and holds onto her necklace. "All right, it feels like we're in a repeat of what happened with Ace. I want to stop this from happening as well, but what then? If Sabo stays on the island, what's to stop his dad from going after him again? He's not strong enough for what's out there either, so I'm just frustrated on how to go about this." Zera looks at her softly, then lands in front of her. "So you want to save Sabo too?" She slowly nods. "I can't just sit back and let him die. He's a good kid, and if I don't do anything, it'll be like admitting to Korra that I was wrong to save Ace in the first place. I don't know what kind of glitch this will cause, but I'm willing to take responsibility for this too. I'll talk to Korra and try to get her to send you back home." She was cut off by a slap in the face by Zera's wing. "Don't you dare finish that sentence. Aren't we friends? Don't think you can just brush me off. You need a friend just like anyone else. I'm staying with you even if we have to fix 100 glitches." Rose looks at her in shock before pulling her into a hug. "Thanks." She pulls back with a grin. "Anytime, but about your worries. I think it'll be best to worry about that after we get Sabo out of danger. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll find a way." She slowly nods as she grins behind her mask and gets up. "You're right. Let's catch up to the others. Hopefully today's not." "Ah." Both of them widen their eyes in shock as they hear the boys screaming. Rose groans in frustration. "Why the hell do I bother anymore? Zera, stay back." Rose grabs her staff and runs to where the boys went. "Let go of me." Sabo struggles from the grip of the guards that Outlook brought while Ace and Luffy are held down by the Blue Jam pirates. "Leave him alone." Ace tries to get out of the hold, but they were too strong. "Guys." Rose runs to the scene and jumps into the crowd and faces 20 of the guards at once. The guards charge at her, but she easily dodges her attacks as she hits one after the other. "Hold it." Rose freezes to the sound of Blue Jam's sword unsheathing as he points it close to Luffy's neck. "Stop the struggle or he dies." "Luffy." She grips onto the staff, then drops it as the guards surround her, pull her wrists behind her back and lock them in sea stone cuffs. "What? They have this? It's already draining me." She's lightly panting from exhaustion as she keeps herself up while the guards glare at her. "Don't think we didn't notice your devil fruit when you kidnapped the boy." One of the guards hits her in the back of the neck and drops her to her knees. She's a devil fruit user. Ace and Luffy look at her in shock as she glares at Outlook. I didn't kidnap Sabo. Just leave him alone. You don't know what you're due. She was cut off by a punch in the face by one of the guards, but the mask remains in place. Shut up. Rose. Sabo looks at her in shock as he struggles while Luffy starts tearing up. Give Sabo back to us and leave Rukia alone. Outlook scoffs at him. Give him back? This child is my flesh and blood. It's a child's duty to fulfill their parents' wishes. Rose grits her teeth in rage. You don't deserve to be his father. She was kicked in the gut by a guard, causing her to cough while Outlook glares at her. And what right do you have to say that? You and your henchmen were the ones that kidnapped him. Was it my fortune you three were after? Ace clenches his teeth in rage. What was that you? He was cut off to a whack in the head by one of the pirates. Sabo grits his teeth in rage as he struggles out of their grip. They didn't kidnap me, I left on my own. Outlook glares at him. I won't hear it, Blue Jam. We'll leave the boys to you while the guards take care of the pirate. You're free to do with them as you see fit. He nods in understanding. Not to worry, sir. I'll be sure that they won't harm your little boy again. The guards nod as they drag Rose up while Sabo looks at them in distress. Wait, I'll go with you willingly. Everyone freezes as Outlook turns to him. What was that? I'll go with you willingly, but please don't hurt Ace, Luffy and Rukia. I care more about them than anything. Don't go, Sabo, Luffy says as he starts crying. Don't do it, Sabo, Ace says as he struggles. You wanted to be free, don't you? He's right, Sabo. Don't do it, Rose says as she struggles out of their grip, but it's no good while Sabo shakes his head with a soft grin. It's okay. I'll be fine. Outlook nods. Very well, let's go. Guards, once you're done questioning the pirate you can let her go. They nod as they half drag her with them to High Town with Outlook and Sabo. Don't go, Sabo, Rukia, Luffy cries out. Forget about us, Sabo. Don't just give in. Ace cries out, but they keep walking while Sabo quietly weeps. Rose looks down at him softly. Don't worry, we'll make it through this. Sabo looks up at her in shock as she softly grins at him when he was yanked away by Outlook as they reach the entrance of Goa Kingdom. Outlook whispers to the head guard as the gate starts opening up. Make sure she never gets near my son again. He nods as they take her away. Sabo looks at her in shock. Rose, where are they taking her? We had a deal. I thought her name was Rukia. Oh well, I don't care what her name is. Outlook nods. Don't worry about it. They're taking her in for questioning about how she got inside, then releasing her. He takes Sabo inside while the guards lead her to the prison. What do you think you're doing? The guards freeze at the sound of Outlook's voice but looks around to find him nowhere in sight. Hee hee. Rose smirks as she backs away from them while Zira flies right above them, creates an invisible sound bubble around them and creates an exploding sound, causing the guards to fall unconscious as their ears bleed. Like I said, Zira, your devil fruit power's awesome. Rose grins as she picks up the keys, unlocks her sea stone cuffs and cuffs two of the guards together. Anne, I hate those things. Zira shakes her head. Then next time don't let them put it on you. You're lucky I followed you. I know, let's get out of here. They run away until make it to an alley. So what's going on now? Zira asks. Right now, Sabo should be learn grade terminal while the boys are being tricked to help Blue Jam. For now Ace and Luffy are safe, but we should focus on getting Sabo away. Zira nods when they feel a strong gust of wind start blowing. I know this is frustrating, but keep your wind in control, Rose. This wind isn't mine, she cuts herself off as she remembers who's here. Holy crap, that's right. Dragon comes here to help the people of Grade Terminal. Wait, he could be our answer. She grins with excitement. I think I know where Sabo can go. Luffy's dad's here. What? He's here to see Luffy. She shakes her head. He's the leader of the revolutionaries. He's here to save the people from Goa's bonfire. This wind belongs to him. I'm not sure what's up with him. He might have some sort of weather devil fruit or he's just a badass. But anyway, if Sabo goes with him he can get away from his dad and live. Zira blinks in surprise, then gulps. Please tell me he's not as crazy as Garp or Korra. She looks at her nervously. He's a lot more stoic than crazy. Anyway, he's our best shot. Those two even meet at some point. Come on, let's get Sabo. She uses her wind to jump over the wall to High Town while Zira sighs then grins. Told you that you'd find a way. She flies over to Wald to catch up to Rose. They're gonna kill everyone in Grade Terminal. I have to tell someone. Sabo runs around the streets frantically after running away from home again to find someone to help him. He makes it to the plaza and runs up to an old man who's sitting down while drinking his tea. Sir, do you know about the fire at Grade Terminal? He looks at him in confusion as he drinks his tea. The fire at the trash heap? Of course I know about it. Everyone does, what's the big deal? Sabo looks at him in terror. Everyone knows, then why isn't anyone saying anything? There's the runaway. The guards yell as they spot Sabo and chase him around the city. I can't get caught. I have to warn Ace, Rose and Luffy. Sabo keeps running until he felt himself getting picked up in the air by Rose's wind, causing him and the guards to look at her standing on the rooftop. There you are, Sabo. Come on, we gotta get out of here. She flies along with Sabo while the guards try to chase them. Rose, are you okay? Of course I'm fine. Those guards were nothing with Zero around. Let's just say you don't mess with people who are friends with a talking bird. Zero says as she flies next to them. Do you guys know about Grade Terminal? Rose nods. It sickens me, don't worry, the boys are going to be fine. I'll lower as much of the damage as I can while I'm getting to them. I need you to do me a favor though. What is it? I need you to find a man with black hair, a green cloak and a tattoo on his face. His name's Dragon and he should be somewhere in the city. He's able to help get the people to safety and should help you too. Me too, she nods. Please trust me, I want you to go with him. He nods as they land in the outer district. Okay. Good, I'll find you when everyone's safe. One more thing, promise me that you won't do anything dangerous. On one condition, I need you to tell me something. Which of their crews are you a part of, Ace or Luffy's? She widens her eyes in shock, then chuckles. That obvious, huh? Okay. I'll tell you. I'm in Luffy's crew. Finally, in answer to help me find her, he nods. Good to know. I'll go find the man right now. He runs away to find Dragon while Zira sighs. Are you sure you're not telling him too much about you? Rose shrugs her shoulders. He already knows my name and face, and it's not like I told him any of the crew's adventures or the war. Besides, he doesn't know about the comet, so it should be fine. I'm more concerned about the casualties. She uses her observation haki to sense Ace and Luffy being tied up in Grade Terminal while Blue Jam is about to detonate the bomb. Not good, Zira. I need you to get to Grade Terminal and direct the people away from the fire. I'll head over to where the boys are while fighting some of the flames. Zira nods as they fly over to Grade Terminal just before the bombs start going off. Dragon, where are you? Sabo searches the streets frantically when he starts to see the flames from Grade Terminal. Oh no, it started. Did Rose manage to get Ace and Luffy out? I gotta find this guy quick. He starts running to try to find Dragon when he sees the guards at the gate spot him. One of the citizens didn't escape. We gotta evacuate him. They run after him as he runs frantically to get away. He manages to lose them in an alley as he pants from exhaustion and starts crying. Cough, it stinks. How can they let this happen? He keeps running when exhaustion catches up to him and he falls on all fours in the middle of the street. Damn it, I can't give up now. What troubles you, boy? Sabo looks up in shock to see a man wearing a green cloak with black hair and a tattoo on his face. It's him. He grabs onto Dragon's cloak as tears start falling. We need your help, please. Help everyone. Cough, the ones responsible for the fire are the nobles. You gotta believe me. He clenches onto his cloak harder as his frustration wells up. There's something wrong with this kingdom. Cough, it stinks worse than the trash heap ever did. The nobles are rotten from the inside. Cough, if I stay here I'll never be free. I wish I was never born a noble. Dragon looks at him in shock. So this kingdom has managed to drive someone to say it at last. He places his hands on his shoulders. I believe you. I too was born in this country. I will help the people in Grade Terminal, though I don't have the power to change this country yet. Sabo nods as he starts to drift off. You'll help? Yes. I promise that I'll never forget your words. He softly grins in satisfaction as he struggles to stay conscious. Thank you. Please take me with. He couldn't finish as he passes out from exhaustion, causing Dragon to catch him, then place him gently on the street. Ivankov walks up to him. Dragon, the preparations are ready. Good. He gives one last glance to Sabo before heading to the ship with Ivankov without Sabo. Ace struggles to get the ropes off of him and Luffy as the flames start engulfing Grey Terminal. I think I got it. He manages to cut the rope with a glass shard, freeing him and Luffy. It's too hot, Luffy says as he holds back of crying. Quit crying, Luffy sucks it up as they run to try to get away from the flames, but they can't find the way out. Ace clenches his pipe in frustration. Damn it, how do we get out of here? You don't. The boys turn in shock to see Blue Jam's crew surrounding them. The boys try to escape but they're surrounded. What are the people who started the fire still doing here? Ace asks as he glares at Blue Jam. Shut up, brat. We're suffering too. Besides, we're pals. We pulled this job off together, so we should all die together. However, you never did tell us where the treasure was. Ace looks at him in shock. You're worried about that when our lives are in danger? With that kind of logic, you shouldn't be worrying about it either. Tell us and we'll let you live. Ace grips his pipe in frustration. Fine, Luffy looks at him in shock. Don't do it, Ace. You and Sabo saved that money for years. Sabo will understand. What matters right now is our lives. The treasure is in a giant tree in the woods. There's a hollow in the branches where the stash is. He smirks in satisfaction. Good boy, guys, grab them. They grabs the boys while they struggle. Ace glares at Blue Jam. You said that you'd leave us alone. Oh, and what if you're lying? You two are coming with us. Don't be stupid. We'll lose our chance to escape if we find it now. He aims a gun at Ace. Don't make me angrier than I already am. You can't be as pissed as I am right now. Rose runs up from behind him and whacks him on the head, causing him to drop the gun while the guys surround her. Rukia. The boys are trapped in their holds while the men chartaggers up in rage. I'm impressed you escaped. You should have ran when you had the chance. Now you'll have to be on my kill list along with the nobles. She chuckles while fighting off the men. Then I wouldn't get the pleasure of kicking your ass for hurting the kids. He chuckles as he picks his gun up. What good will helping these boys be for you? They allowed themselves to be played by their own brother. He's just like those no-good nobles. He thinks of his commoners are trash. The boys glare at him while Rose keeps fighting off the pirates. Sabo's not like that, Luffy says. Of course he is. He only hung around you to feel superior. Deep down he was pinching his nose and laughing at you. Ace's anger keeps increasing at every word. Don't you dare say one more word. The only thing Sabo wanted was freedom. Luffy bites the arm of the guy holding him to let go. Luffy. Rose tries to fight her way through, but she was surrounded when the pirate swipes at Luffy with his sword and hits him. Ow! Luffy holds the cut on his head in pain as the pirate gets ready to stab him. Leave Luffy alone. Ace screams and activated his Conqueror's Haki to knock out the pirates surrounding them except Blue Jam. Rose looks at him in shock. Ace? That's right, his Conqueror's Haki awoke here. Blue Jam looks around in shock. What the hell did you do? He lunges at Ace but Rose blocks him. How about fighting someone your own size? He grits his teeth in rage as he grabs his sword when Dayton runs from behind him and hits him in the head with the back of her axe to knock him down. Leave them alone, you monster. Dayton. Rose looks at them in shock as she and the bandits storm the scene. Dogra runs over to Luffy and picks him up. Are you okay, Luffy? Where's Sabo? He's safe. He's not with us, Luffy says. What are you doing here? Ace asks. Saving your asses, that's what, Dayton says when Blue Jam gets up and glares at them while Ace, Rose and the bandits get in a stance. What business do ruffians from Mount Corvo have with them? Dayton grips her axe while glaring at him. My name is Dayton. I'm the boy's guardian. Now then, she and the bandits run away with Luffy. We gotta run. Dogra carries Luffy over his shoulder while running, then looks to see Ace and Rose not running. Come on, guys. I won't run, Ace says as he gets in a stance. Get going, Rukia. She shakes her head. You really think I'd let myself run with you still in danger? Besides, I need a good fight. The bandits look at them in shock. What do you guys think you're doing? He's stronger than you too. If only you knew. Rose smirks behind her mask as she gets in a stance. Don't worry, it'll be fine. I'll make sure Ace gets back safely. Dayton grits her teeth as she joins them. Men, take Luffy back. The guys look at her in shock. What? Ace is my responsibility. It's my job to make sure he's safe. Garp would kill me if he knew I allowed a pirate to protect him. Now go. Yes, boss. The bandits run away while Luffy cries out to them, but they don't look back. Dayton walks up to the duo. Let's get this done so Garp doesn't scold me. Yay, right. That's just an excuse. You're a great mother, Dayton. Rose smiles behind the mask as she gets in a stance. Blue Jam glares at the group. 2 women and a child. How pathetic. Don't get overconfident because you could fight a little. He charges at the group as they get ready. Rose runs up with her staff and infuses it with haki to block his sword while Ace and Dayton charge at him. Blue Jams grabs his gun from his pocket when Ace uses his pipe to knock it out of his hand while Dayton whacks him on the head with the back of her axe. Rose infuses her leg with haki to hit him in the gut to send him flying, then jumps to slam him to the ground while Ace whack him with his pipe until he was punched in the face. He staggers up as blood falls on his face. I refuse to die here. He picks up his gun and shoots at Rose, but she dodges. All 3 of them stare at her in shock as she punches him in the nose to send him flying and knocks him out. Let's get out of here. She picks Ace up and tosses him to Dayton, then runs with them from behind. They find an exit that's about to close up and they rush through before the fire can trap them. Once they made it to safety, the 3 of them pant from exhaustion as Zira joins them. Rose turns to her as she lands on her shoulder. Is everyone safe, Zira? She nods. Good. Ace glares at her as he gets out of Dayton's hold and runs in front of her. I want answers. How did you dodge that bullet? What's your devil fruit? And why didn't you use it to stop Sabo from getting taken? Rose sighs. First question. I was trained to dodge them. Second, I can't tell you my devil fruit. And finally, if I used my devil fruit, I could have hurt you guys in the process. Ace grits his teeth in irritation. You could have gone and saved him after you escaped. You just like to hide things from everyone, keep away from us and go back to the ocean trader. Rose widens her eyes in shock while Dayton whacks him on the head. Ace, apologize right now. She just went and saved you and Luffy. Rose raises her hand up. It's fine, Dayton. Truth be told, we were planning to leave, so we should get going. Come on, Zira. Zira looks at her in shock. What? But it'll be fine. Thanks for everything, Dayton. Give my regards to Luffy. Good luck, Ace. She walks ahead with Zira into the woods, leaving Ace and Dayton behind. Zira groans in frustration as they make their trek through the woods. I can't believe Ace said that. Rose sighs as she takes the mask off. He wasn't wrong though, I hide things too much. You did it for a reason. Who knows what would have happened if you used your wind in front of Ace and Luffy. Besides, Sabo should be okay now, right? Rose uses her observation haki to find Dragon's ship but doesn't sense Sabo there. That's not good, he's back with his family. What? Wait, doesn't that mean tomorrow Sabo will set out to sea and those celestial dragons will? She groans in frustration as she turns her arms into a twister and Twister punches a tree in frustration. Damn it. Sigh, that means tomorrow is the only chance to stop it from happening. If we corner him as he's escaping Goa, then we can stop him and bring him to Dragon. Follow me. They make it near the border of Goa Kingdom in the woods and find a safe place to rest. Sabo's under heavy guard, so it's better if we stop him when he escapes again. For now, let's rest up. Zira nods as Rose uses her bag as a makeshift pillow and lays down with her. Remember, we're doing this together, Rose. She nods with a grin as she pulls her into a hug before drifting to sleep. Thanks, Zira. Rose and Zira wake up near the brink of dawn and are getting ready to go. Rose nods to herself in satisfaction as she keeps the mask off. Okay, so I pinpointed Dragon's ship. All we have to do is find Sabo before he sails and then bring him to Dragon. I sense him leaving the kingdom now, so let's go get him. Zira nods in agreement as they turn to leave. Time freeze. Rose and Zira freeze as Korra walks in front of them with a scowl and her arms crossed over her chest. It looks like neither of you have learned your lesson. I'm really disappointed. Crap. Not now. Rose and Zira try to get out of the hold, but they were trapped in the hold as Korra's dark blue eyes glare at them. I keep telling you that you can't prevent events from happening, you can just alter them. You should consider yourself lucky that you didn't die for real at the war. If you stopped Sabo from dying, you might as well consider yourself dead now. Her scowl changes to a smirk. However, I'm here to congratulate you. You fixed the glitch. I'm willing to bring you back to your time now. She releases her hold on them while lightly panting from exhaustion, causing them to look at her in shock. You have to be kidding me. Tell us this glitch right now, you time witch. Zira flies up to her but she hits her. Rose quirks an eye between Korra and Zira. Why did she just release us from the hold? Is there a limit to how long she can hold us? Leave Zira alone, Korra, and don't try to stop us. I can't just let someone who's like a brother to me die. She shakes her head in disappointment. You do realize that I won't let you, right? Sabo was meant to die. Don't cause more chaos just to save one brat. Rose chuckles, causing Korra to look at her in confusion. What's so funny? I'm just surprised that you're related to Luffy, because if you were, you would understand how important family is. I'm sure if my Luffy was here he'd do the same thing I'm about to do. She turns her arm into a twister and Twister punches her to a tree. Korra gets up while Rose and Zira are getting away and raises her hand to them. Time freeze. She tries to use her ability again but it doesn't freeze them. Damn it, not being able to do it for 5 minutes after using it is a pain in the ass. Sabo should be sailing away now, so it should be fine. If you go to the harbor then consider yourself trapped in this time. So I was right about the limit. Rose smirks while gaining distance. So be it, it won't stop me from seeing your grandson in the future. Later, witch. Crap, Sabo's on the water. Korra stares at their leaving forms in shock before smirking to herself. That's what I wanted to hear. Sabo happily sails in the ocean on the stolen fishing boat while the crowd that's expecting the celestial dragon looks at him in shock. Dogra uses his binoculars to recognize him. Sabo, what are you doing? Don't go out there. Sabo turns to him. I can't stay in this country or I'll be swallowed by it. Until I become strong enough to face this country I'm never coming back. I'm sorry, Rose. I had to gain my freedom. He drifts further out when he sees the celestial dragon ship coming. Wow. He looks at the ship in awe until the celestial dragon started shooting at the boat to set it on fire. Crap. It's starting. Rose arrives to the scene, then turned her body into wind and zipped through the crowd to try to get to Sabo. What? Why are they setting the boat on fire? Sabo tries to put the flames out when the celestial dragon aims his launcher at him. Rose wasn't at the ship yet, but she uses her wind to try to push the cannon away from him, but it was too strong and got past it to blow up his ship. Sabo. Rose gets to the ship and blows away the flames while she's still in her wind form, but Sabo's body is gone. The crowd looks at the boat in shock while Dogra starts crying. Sabo. No. Sabo. Zira starts tearing up as she flies above the ship. Damn it, if that witch didn't stall us this wouldn't have happened. Tears start streaming down Rose's face as she flies up near Zira as a body of wind. Damn it. I couldn't save him. Wait. She freezes in shock as she focuses her observation haki and recognizes Sabo's aura. Holy crap. Zira, follow me. She flies to the direction of Sabo's aura with Zira following. I know his aura anywhere. How did he end up this far out? Huh? Someone else is here too? Rose turns her body back to normal miles off of Dawn Island and searches frantically with Zira following. Zira pants from exhaustion as she lands on her shoulder. Will you tell me what's going on already? Sabo's alive, that's what's going on. I can still sense him. Sabo. Where are you? Answer me. She keeps searching until she finds Dragon on a rowboat picking Sabo out of the water. Sabo. She flies over to them and sees that he's unconscious, but still breathing and has a burn on the left side of his face. A flying girl with red aura? Dragon looks at her in confusion. Who are you? No time for that. Your boat is close by, right? I can take you there faster. She sends the 3 of them flying to Dragon's ship. Ivankov and Kuma are here, so I should put the mask on. She puts the mask on just before they landed on the deck of his ship. The revolutionaries took Sabo to treat him while Kuma walks up to Rose. Who exactly are you? I'm a pirate. A time witch sent me here. Dragon turns to her in utter shock. You don't mean Korra, do you? She nods. It's a long story. Listen, can you do me a favor and not let Sabo know I'm here? Please have everyone act like you came here alone when you saved him. He nods as he heads into the infirmary. Zira looks at her in confusion. Why don't you want him to know? Because something's not right here. Dragon got Sabo out before we could even get to him. I don't think Sabo said anything all that different to Dragon, or he would have taken Sabo away from the city last night. What are you saying? I'm saying there's a possibility that Sabo might have been rescued by Dragon the first time. Are you telling me that he could have been alive this whole time? She nods. It's a theory. If that was true, then there has to be some sort of reason why he didn't write to Ace and Luffy, let alone not show up to the war. Until I can confirm it, I want to see what happens if I'm not here. Zero nods in understanding as they hear shouting in the infirmary. Dragon, he's awake. Rose and Zero run inside and sit outside of the infirmary to eavesdrop while the conversation is going on. What's going on? Sabo sits up in confusion while the others stare at him. The doctor walks up to him and sits on the chair next to his bed. You were attacked. He checks his pupils for a concussion. What's your name? He widens his eyes in shock. I don't remember. Rose widens her eyes in shock. Amnesia? A revolutionary shows him a handkerchief with his name on it. Sabo, was written in your possessions. Do you know if that's your name? He shrugs his shoulders. I don't know, I guess that could be my name. Dragon steps up. He's a noble child of the Goa kingdom. That much I'm certain. Another revolutionary nods. We should send him back to his parents then. I'll go look for. No, Sabo yells, causing them to look at him in shock as he starts tearing up. I don't want to go back. Please take me with you. I'll do anything you ask as long as I don't go back. Rose places a hand over her mouth. Sabo, she runs outside with Zira. Dragon slowly nods. Very well, you can stay. Excuse me. He walks on the deck to see Rose staring out at the ocean sadly with Zira patting her head. He walks up beside her. Would it be alright if he stays with us? She nods, then softly chuckles. It's funny, I was actually planning on bringing him to you guys after I stopped the explosion from happening. Irony really is a bitch. He nods. Did Korra send you to this time to prove yourself for my son? Yay, I failed the test though because I tried to stop the explosion from happening. She takes a deep breath then nods. Would it be okay if I go inside? I might be able to trigger something in his memories. Not if I can help it. Time freeze. Korra jumps onto the boat from her rowboat and freezes Rose and Zira. Dragon looks at her in shock. How the hell did you find us? You future daughter-in-law's red aura can be seen for miles with my hockey. I'm gonna bring her and the bird back home now before she causes a glitch again. What was that? Rose is shocked but doesn't show it, causing Korra to laugh. Yay, Sabo was alive this whole time and his amnesia happened. I'll explain it while we're traveling. Dragon, not good to see you again. Likewise, young lady, good luck with this witch. Wah! A black vortex surrounds them and takes her, Zira and Korra away from the ship and into a void with multiple timelines showing around them. The time freeze wears off, causing Rose to look around in shock while Zira passes out. Zira. Rose catches her while Korra chuckles. Looks like the bird still can't handle the timelines. Welcome to the time void. In order for me to time travel, I have to come here and find the timeline for the location we were just at. Sadly, I can't take us to different locations here, but we can view the timelines in other locations. Viewing all these timelines can be overwhelming at first though, which is why I out the first time. Rose looks around in shock, then grabs Korra by the cloak and glares at her. Tell me what happened right now. She nods. You see, the glitch was all in Sabo's memories. He was meant to get them back from reading about Ace's death, but since you saved him that wasn't possible. Rose widens her eyes in shock as she lets go of the cloak. You can't be serious. You know how cruel that is. What would have happened if? If it wasn't fixed, then Sabo would have never gotten his memories back because he focuses too much on his missions and avoids news on pirates. Ace and Luffy then would have never found out that he was alive. It was a miracle Sabo found the article in the first place. Then when the world published the article that I was dead, he got his memories back. Yup. Here I'll show you. Korra manipulates a timeline to show them Baltigo base a few days after the war took place. A 20-year-old Sabo was walking through the meeting room with Koala when some of the revolutionaries were rushing in the room to report to Dragon. The war has ended. Whitebeard was defeated. They look at them in shock as they spread the newspapers around while Sabo starts leaving. The Whitebeards were able to complete their objective, but Whitebeard died. The list of casualties are him and a girl called Katone Rose. Sabo freezes in shock when he heard her name. Katone Rose? I don't care if you guys are from the royal family or celestial dragons. I'm still gonna kick your asses for beating up the kid. He rushes to grab an article while the others are talking amongst themselves. She's not even a Whitebeard, but she invaded the war with her wind. Aokiji stopped at nothing to kill her because she's from another world. The world government doesn't like anything they don't understand. The poor outsider chose the wrong fight. Sabo starts hyperventilating as he stares at her picture, and the scene of Rose telling the boys her dream by the cliff appears in his head. I'm gonna understand everything about this world and prove that there's more than one out there. I'll show the world that they can't keep me down by what they call me, and once I return to my crew I'm never gonna hide a thing from them again. He starts openly sobbing as pictures of Rose, Ace and Luffy start appearing in his head, and he remembers drinking the sake cups with Ace and Luffy. Koala looks at him in concern. Sabo, are you okay? He ignores her as he keeps tearing up while more and more scenes appear in his head. Don't worry about me, Sabo. Just having someone else know my real name makes me feel better. He screams as he throws the newspaper in the air and starts collapsing while the others rush to him. I remember now. I have 2 brothers. And Rose was my best friend. She wasn't some outsider or demon. She was a free spirit. A true pirate. He falls unconscious while tears keep streaming down his face, and the revolutionaries take him to the infirmary. Tears start streaming down Rose's face as she watched the scene. Sabo, if this was his reaction, then how did the others react to the article? Luffy. Korra pats her on the head. Sorry, but this had to be done. I'm impressed though you were not only willing to stay in that time to save someone close to Luffy, but you stood up to me. I definitely approve of you. She shakes her hand off of her. I don't care about that. If Sabo's memories were like that, then why didn't you just tell me? I could have gone to Baltigo and showed him Luffy's picture. If I did that, then other glitches could have sprouted. Since you took Ace's place in his death, I felt this was the best course of action to fix the time stream. Besides, where's the fun in just telling you? She tries to punch her, but she dodges. Easy, easy. If you knock me out, you could be stuck in this void. She sighs. Then can we go back now? In a bit. But I want to show you something nice first. You see, you being from another world inspired me to experiment on my abilities, and I found out something amazing. My ability can not only show me the timelines of this world but in other worlds too. Rose looks at her in shock, then glares at her. You mean you can force me back to my world? She shakes her head. Nope, I can only do that with this world, and if we're actually at that location. Going to the other worlds is out of my jurisdiction, so like in different locations in this world we can only view their timelines here. You are growing curious about how your foster family was doing after you left, right? Well, I'll show you. She shows a timeline from Rose's world showing Marie and Laura working at a pizza restaurant. Is that the place I used to work at? Rose watches closely as the girls are working. One blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl wearing a shirt that says, Laura, on it is struggling to work the register, while her identical twin sister, who's wearing a shirt that says, Marie, was struggling to take a pizza pie out of the oven. Marie tries to take the pizza out with the peel, but she pulls it out too hard, causing it to be sent flying to the other side of the restaurant, causing the customers to duck as it hits the wall. Marie, how many times are you going to mess it up? The owner of the restaurant. A skinny woman with bobbed reddish-brown hair, brown eyes, pale skin, in her late 40s in a t-shirt and jeans walks up to her angrily and takes the pizza peel from her. Sorry Naomi, just go clean the kitchen or something. Laura, are you? She cuts herself off when she sees the receipt paper printing out 1,000,000 orders not placed. What the hell did you do? I don't know, I pressed something and the paper just kept coming out. She rushes over to the register and stopped it from printing out receipts. Laura, go clean up your sister's mess, then get in the back with Marie for cleanup duty until the place is spotless. They run to their work while Naomi sighed and threw away the used receipt. Man, I miss Rose. The door opens to Bobby as he walks inside and walks up to Naomi. Mind if I get 2 plain slices to go? She nods as she sees Laura heading into the kitchen. Any news on the search for Rose? He shakes his head. It's like Rose just up and vanished. It doesn't surprise me that she doesn't want to be found with the foster family she had though. All that time chasing her around the city and she never once mentioned her foster family. If she had just said something, she could have been placed somewhere else. She sighs as she gets the slices and places them in a box. She didn't want to risk getting placed somewhere worse. At least Rick was arrested for marijuana possession during the search and is in prison now. He nods in agreement. How are the twins holding up? She groans as she rings up the register. The worst employees I ever had. But no one else will take them. I don't have the heart to fire them. But these 2 combined don't even match Rose. She softly chuckles. You know it's funny. The night she disappeared I saw a comet flying in the sky. Wouldn't surprise me if it was that otherworld comet she always went on about. He nods with a soft chuckle. If she actually did succeed in getting out of this world, then I hope she's happy. He pays for the pizza when they hear crashes and crying from the kitchen. Ah, there's flour all over us. Laura cries. Like we weren't dirty enough, Marie cries. Naomi groans as she takes the money from him. God give me strength. If you find anything new on Rose, please let me know. He nods as he takes the pizza and leaves while hearing Naomi go into the kitchen to scold the girls. Rose watched the scene in shock. I knew that my existence wouldn't be erased if I left, but for Bobby to get the cops to start a search, those two actually having a job though, she looks at the timeline conflicted. I don't know if I should be laughing or crying. I feel bad for Naomi, but those two working is just. Laughter won as she started laughing. Ha ha ha, that's nuts. So Rick was arrested, huh? I kind of feel sorry for him. Cora looks at, I'm just impressed you dealt with them for so long. She shrugs her shoulders. There are worse places, and I had Naomi and Bobby, so it wasn't too bad. Besides, if they weren't so mean I wouldn't have been so resolved to leave my world. Her smile fades as she looks at her nervously. Cora, would it be alright if I see my crew's reactions to the letter and the article? She shakes her head with a soft look on her face. Trust me, it would only make you feel more guilty about what happened. Let's just say they miss you and they forgive you for not telling them the truth. I saw the reunion between you guys and trust me, you won't regret going back. Rose widens her eyes at this, then nods with a soft grin. Thank you. She nods as she pulls up the timeline where they were at before. Here we go. They left the time void and were right above the ocean a few miles off of Dawn Island. Cora's sweat drops in embarrassment. Oops, forgot we were on a boat before time traveling. Rose twitches an eyebrow in irritation. They start falling when Rose uses her wind to send the group flying in back on the island's cliff. She sighs then chuckles. I take it back, you're definitely Luffy's grandma. So we're back in our time now? She nods. Yup, you're where you and the bird belong. About Sabo, you guys will see him again in Dressrosa. He'll come find you guys, so there's no point in trying to find him. She nods in understanding as she places Zira on the ground, then goes up to her and hugs her. Thank you for the trip. I had fun. She blinks in surprise before grinning and hugging her back. No problem. You know, I'm starting to like you. I can give you another trip if you want. She immediately pulls away while raising her hands defensively. No thanks, I'm good, Zira, and I should get going. I better go before she actually does it. She picks Zira up then starts running down the mountain. Bye Granny. Cora blinks in surprise then chuckles. Granny, huh? Well, better than which? She creates another time vortex and jumps in to return to the time void. Zira wakes up in Rose's arms then looks up at her in shock. Rose, are you okay? Where's the witch? She looks around to see them close to Fuchsia village. Rose grins at her behind the mask. Don't worry about it, Zira. Cora brought us back, she showed me some things, and you know the best part? Sabo's alive. That means Luffy has both of his brothers now. She chuckles as she gets onto Rose's shoulder. Glad to see you enjoyed yourself. She nods as they make it into Fuchsia village to see Shanks and Makino together. Hey guys. Shanks waves at her when Makino looks at her in shock. Are Rukia? She runs up to hug her while Shanks looks at her in confusion. Rukia? She nods. Long story, Luffy's grandma sent us back 11 years in the past. I met Luffy and his brothers, fought Garp, tried to prevent Sabo's accident but failed yet found out he's alive. And then Granny sent us back saying that I'm good enough to be with Luffy. Shanks looks at her in utter shock as he tries to process her adventure. All of that from a hike up the mountain. I'm never letting you go off on your own again until you're back at Sabaody. WHO said she was a lone jerk? I've had enough of people writing me off. Zira flies off her shoulder and charges at him while he tries to swat her, and Rose and Makino laugh. Makino recovers and turns to her with a grin. So you passed her test? That's wonderful, but why are you still wearing the mask? I'll freaking tell you why. Everyone turns in shock to see a pissed off Dayton approaching them. Take off the mask, Rose. Rose widens her eyes in shock before sighing and taking the mask off. I didn't think you guys would put it together. Makino looks at her in shock. Wait a minute, you're Katone, Rose? She nods. Yay, I almost died at the war but Shanks and the Whitebeards saved me, sorry for. She's cut off when Dayton pulls her into a hug and starts tearing. You idiot. Do you have any idea how we felt when we figured it out? We thought you died. Does Luffy know? She looks at her in shock then slowly shakes her head. No, I know there's no excuse but when the crew reunites I'll be there to see them. Dayton nods in approval as she pulls away. Good, I'll be on your side just as I will for Ace and Luffy. She nods. Thanks. Shanks grins at them as he and Zero stop fighting when Usopp runs up to them. Shanks, Garp's here. What? They look to see Garp running into them furiously. Just because I retired from being a marine doesn't mean you pirates can. He cuts himself off when he sees Rose and trips over himself. What the hell? You're alive. She nods as she sheepishly rubs the back of her head. Yay, and I was Rukia too. His mouth falls to the ground in shock before laughing. Ha ha ha. You outsiders really are something. So it was Luffy you fell in love with. Since you passed Korra's test I'm okay with you. He pats her on the back causing her to chuckle nervously. Thanks, so you retired from the Marines? Yup, after the war one didn't want to risk going through one of them being put on execution again, so I left before that chance happened. I didn't expect you to be Rukia though. I'll keep quiet about you and the red hair pirates being here, but just this once. Shanks chuckles as he pumps his fist in the air. In that case let's party to celebrate Rose's return. Yay! The group parties the day away while Rose tells them her time-traveling adventures with the ASL trio. Today is the last day before the crew reunites and Luffy and Ace aren't wasting a minute of it as they continue training. Luffy's clothes change to a red button-down cardigan open to his non-scarred chest, a yellow sash while keeping his shorts the same and waiting to get his hat tomorrow. Ace changed his clothes to black pants with Whitebeard's symbol on the belt buckle and his dagger hanging from the belt, an unzipped black coat, and a black cowboy hat with his beads and faces on the brim. Both boys are currently sparring one last time before the sun starts to set. Keep it up Luffy. Ace grins as the boys keep exchanging hockey-infused punches. Luffy grins as he blocks Ace's punches then goes into second gear. I'm not finished Ace. He zips past him and a few feet away while storing heat in his right fist. Gum Gum Red Hawk. Fire Hawk. He fuses his fist with hockey and fire and collides with Luffy's fist. Both of them grin in satisfaction as they drop the fists then high-five each other with their others' hands. Ace nods in approval with a smirk. These 2 years have really paid off for you Luffy. The new world won't know what hit them. He nods while showing off his toothy grin. She. I'm just excited to see the crew again. I'm sure everyone will. He cuts himself off as his smile starts to falter. Right, not everyone will be there. He shakes his head then grins. I'm gonna get some food. He turns and heads to the jungle while Ace watches his leaving figure. He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. Even after these 2 years he still misses Rose. He goes into a different direction to fight some animals. Luffy sits down on the coast while eating a piece of meat and watches the sun set in a cloudless sky. Not a cloud out. Just how Rose liked it. He chuckles as the sun finishes setting and the stars start coming out. He finishes his food then grins at the open sky while remembering when Rose showed him the stars for the first time. The best part of my power is that I can see the stars without the clouds blocking the view anymore. I get why she liked stars so much. They're pretty relaxing. He lays down on his back with his hands behind his head and stares at the sky. You there Rose? You were right like always. Rayleigh's training really got me stronger. This whole other world stuff is awesome. I can't believe you held out on us. When we meet again I want to know everything about your world and you better not leave anything out this time. She. He laughs then softly grins. Is it weird to hope that you're gonna keep your promise? He was met with silence for a minute then sighs as he sits up with a frown. Right, you can't respond. He takes out Rose's letter and the picture of the crew from his pocket and reads the last line of the letter. I love you and I promise to be there when we all meet. He chuckles then shakes his head with a soft grin. It's okay that you can't make it, you're still one of us. He shifts his attention to the photo of the crew and focuses on his and Rose's spot in the picture. Hey guys, how about a picture to commemorate us being here? I gotta run an errand. I'll catch up with you guys later. Do you understand now that you're free to fall in love with whoever you want even though we kissed? He freezes as tears start streaming down his face, causing him to wipe them quickly before they could hit the picture, then stares at it sadly. I'm sorry, Rose. You held everything in at Sabaody and I couldn't do anything. Asking you all those questions about couples must not have been easy either. He sighs, places the letter and photo back in his pocket, then hugs his knees while listening to Ace's approaching footsteps. Ace casually grins as he walks up to him. Knew I'd find you here, Lou, out looking at stars again? He slowly nods, then looks up while Ace sits next to him and softly chuckles. You know, I'm surprised you didn't camp out here or something after coming here almost every night. Luffy shrugs his shoulders, causing Ace to bite his lip. He's been taking this harder than when Sabo died. Is he really ready? You know, Luffy, if you're not ready to see your crew yet, I'm sure they'd understand. He shakes his head. No way. I can't be king of the pirates by sitting around here my whole life. If Rose was here, she'd punch me in the nose if I thought of doing that. He chuckles at that. Wouldn't want that. Hey Luffy, I've been curious about something. Did you ever see Rukia during your travels? He blinks in surprise at the change of subject. Rukia? You mean that pirate girl we played with when we were kids? Ace nods, causing Luffy to shake his head. Nope, haven't seen her since grade terminal. He softly chuckles. You know, it's weird. Rose sort of reminded me of her. I wonder where she went. I'd love to see her and Zira again. That crazy bird was hilarious. He nods with a grin. Go back to the ocean trader. His smile starts to fade as he remembers his last words to her. I'd like to see her again too. I owe her an apology for what I said. Luffy has a point though. Even though I only met Rose, there was something about her that reminded me of Rukia. And that screech that attacked me, Gramps and Sengoku on the platform, is something Zira would. He quickly shakes his head. What am I thinking? There's no way Rose and Rukia could be the same person. Rose is too young. And unless they're both from the same world, I doubt they're related. Luffy looks at him in confusion. You okay, Ace? Did you eat some rotten fruit again? Ace hits him on the head. You're the one that ate rotten fruit here. He chuckles as he gets up. You're the only one who could relate our conversation to food. Anyway, we should get some rest. We have a big day tomorrow. He nods as he gets up, then stares at the sky with a soft look. Ace? Yay? Do you think it's weird to hope that Rose is gonna show up tomorrow? He looks at him softly, then ruffles his hair with a grin. Not weird at all, Lou. He nods with a toothy grin. Thanks, then let's get some sleep. He nods as they head back to their campsite to get ready for the reunion. Rose is staring at herself in the mirror in her room on the Red Force nervously. How the hell am I going to show the others I'm alive? Thankfully, besides the haircut, my body isn't all that different, so they can easily recognize me. Good thing the time skip didn't cause me to gain any curves, and I still have my small che. She frantically shakes her head with a small blush on her face. Now's not the time to get sidetracked about my body. I gotta try rehearsing again. She sighs and stares at the mirror with a nervous smile, then waves. Hi guys. I'm back from the dead. She shakes her head, then gives the mirror a sweet grin. Everyone, it's so great to see you again. She blinks in confusion. What, you thought I was dead? Funny story. I was saved by Shanks and the Whitebeards, then Shanks kept me hidden to protect me while training me in hockey, isn't that? She freezes, then groans while rubbing her temples, then faces the mirror with a soft look on her face. Hi guys, I'm alive. I know you're pissed that I never said anything about who I was, and for that I'm really sorry. If it's okay with you, I'd like for us to try again. I promise that I'll tell you everything about me. And she groans and rubs her temples in frustration. Damn it, all of those are no good. Shanks and Zira softly watch her rehearsing from the doorway as she sighs. Maybe I should just sneak on board the ship in a barrel, then pop out when we're out of Sabaody. Shanks stares at her in shock for a moment before falling on his knees from laughing along with Zira. Bawahahaha. What I wouldn't give to see their reactions if you actually did that. She turns to her audience in shock, then groans in embarrassment. Sorry to disappoint, but that would just make things worse, and Luffy would see right through that with his hockey. We'll be there by tomorrow morning, right? He nods with a grin as he finishes laughing and gets up. Yug, we should see the island. Still nervous about seeing them, huh? She slowly nods. I can beat up as many marines and enemy pirates as I want without a problem, but when it comes to those 9 I just freeze up. Shanks walks up to her and pats her on the head. Don't worry about it so much. If I know Luffy, he'll party like there's no tomorrow when he finds out you're alive. You said you know about the crew's adventures, right? Is there anything special about the reunion that can be a good time for you to show up? Rose strokes her chin in thought. Well, the crew is scattered all over the island at first. They get chased by the Marines, and there's the imposters. Zira flies up to her. Whoa, wait, imposters? She nods. Yay, a bunch of low-class pirates imitate Luffy and the crew to try to recruit high bounty captains to work under them. Funny thing is they take Luffy to their meeting to punish him for knocking them out without realizing that it's him. You should see the look on their faces when they saw that it was him. Since everyone thinks I died at the war, one shouldn't get an imposter. Man, that would have been weird. Glad I dodged that bullet. Shanks chuckles. That kid always gets himself in the weirdest messes. Hey, you should go to that meeting. She quirks an eyebrow at the idea, causing him to raise his arm defensively. Hear me out. You sneak into the meeting, and when Luffy arrives you storm in during the battle. You two should talk one-on-one at least before reuniting with the crew. He's right that Luffy deserves an explanation. It'll be a little harder to talk to him alone, but I have to. She sighs then nods. Okay. I think that's a good idea. I still have no idea on what to say though. He chuckles. Relax, the right words will come when the time's right. Luffy's not really the type for words anyway, so I suggest just going for the kiss. She whacks him on the head with a blush on her face, then sighs and chuckles. Thanks Shanks. I needed this talk. He grins as he starts leaving, then stops at the doorway before giving her a goofy grin and the peace sign. Anything for Luffy's future pirate queen. Ha ha ha. He keeps laughing as he runs to dodge the flying pillow courtesy of Rose. She runs a hand through her hair while sighing. Geez, you try being serious with the guy and he fools around. He really is like Luffy. I'm gonna miss these guys. Zira nods in agreement as she flies onto the bed. They were nice. I can't wait to meet your crew though. The reindeer looks like a lot of fun. She nods with a grin as she takes out the picture of the crew and smiles at it before placing it next to Zira. You two are gonna be great friends. Fair warning, whenever you compliment him he'll say some harsh things but gets in a happy dance to show his real emotions. She looks at her in confusion. A happy dance? She eagerly nods. Yay, like if you say that he's a great doctor or that he's cute he would say something like, she points to her angrily. Shut up asshole. Saying something like that won't make you my friend. She starts getting into a happy dance while giggling. Nope, that compliment won't make me happy at all, stupid, hee. Zira looks at her in shock before laughing. Ha ha ha. Are you serious? That's crazy. Do some of the others? She nods as she stops dancing. Alright, who next? Oh. Zoro's always grumpy and sleeps a lot, but when one of us is in danger you can count on him. She grabs her staff then lays it next to her before laying down on the floor with her hands behind her head, then pretends to nap while snoring. She wakes up while twitching her eyebrow in irritation then glares. Shut up Arrow Cook. I'm trying to sleep here. You wanna fight? She picks her staff up and gets her twin blades out then gets in a stance causing Zira to laugh. That was really good. Who's Arrow Cook? She softens her expression as she sheathes her blades. That's Sanji. He's the blondie in the suit. She glances at the photo and finds him. What's he like? He's pretty cool, but also a flirt. He's gonna be a bit sensitive to women for a bit because of where he trained during these past 2 years. Don't ask. She slowly nods. Can you try imitating him? She tilts her head in thought then nods as she cups her hands to pretend that she's smoking. She takes her hands away while pretending she's blowing away smoke. Luffy had better not have eaten the meat again. As long as there's enough food for the ladies then the men can just have bread. She twirls to pretend to love Tornado. Nami Swan, Robin Schwan, Rose Schwan, here are your snacks. She goes down on one knee in front of Zira while pretending to hold a tray of sweets with one hand and placing her other hand on her chest while bowing. Only the best treats for the best beauties before me. Zira widens her eyes in shock before bursting out laughing. Wahahaha. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Does he really do that? She nods as she gets up. Yup, he's really funny and nice. Won't Luffy get jealous? Her smile fades at the thought. You know, I never thought about that. Well, as long as we tell the others we're a couple it should be fine. Sanji will be a little upset. but the mermaids on Fishman Island will cheer him up. She nods, then finds Usopp in the picture. What about Usopp? Can you do him? She nods as she pounds her chest boastfully. I'm Captain Usopp. No enemy is tough enough to face me. I have 8,000 followers under my command, so don't mess with me. She giggles. He seems pretty funny. If you think that's funny, here's Frankie. She bends her torso forward while pounding the floor. Did someone just say my name? You better watch out because the most super shipwright is here to stay. She pushes her arms together in Frankie's signature pose. Ow? I'm your super big bro Frankie. Zero rolls off the bed from laughing. Ha 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 ha. Oh man. I love these guys already. What about the girls? I'll try Nami. She tilts her head in thought, then shows her 3 fingers. There are only 3 things I care about. Money, tangerines, and my friends. She changes and shows belly in her eyes. Treasure, come on guys. Let's get rich. She changes her facial expression to a smirk. Feel free to borrow my money, for a 300% interest, ha ha ha. She looks at her in shock. She seems pretty fierce. Yup, she's like my big sister. She can be pretty scary when she's mad though, so be careful. She nods in understanding. Gotcha, how about the black-haired woman? Her name's Robin, right? Rose nods then shivers. I have a feeling that if I imitate her it'll come back to bite me, so let's skip her. There's not a thing on the ship that she doesn't know about. As you already know, she's the one who figured me out and even covered for me, so I could be the one to tell them the truth when I was ready. She's very motherly, but if you cross her you'll have hell to pay. Let's just stick with that. Zira's sweat drops in fear. Is she that scary? She helped Rose, so I'm sure she's okay. She slowly nods. Okay. What about the skeleton? Oh, you're gonna love Brooke. She clears her throat then laughs the way Brooke does. Yo ho ho ho. A talking bird. How amazing. She goes up and pets her. Your soft feathers tickle my skin. Oh wait. I don't have any skin. Yo ho ho ho. Skull joke. She giggles at the skull joke. Luffy's the last one up, right? She nods as she gives her a toothy grin. Shishizi, hey guys. Do you want to play tag while we're waiting for dinner? I'm bored. Sanji. Let's eat. She raises her fists in the air. Just you guys wait. Once we conquer the new world I'm gonna be the king of the pirates. Zira giggles. I can't wait to see him all grown up. She sighs as she stares out at the window with a soft grin. You and me both. I just hope things turn out well. Zira flies back onto the bed. He's gonna be in for the surprise of his life, that's for sure. Let's get some sleep. She nods as she lays on the bed next to Zira. Yup, tomorrow's gonna be nuts. Night Zira. Good night Rose. Rose flies onto TH. Hey guys. Where is everyone? She looks around to find herself the only one on the ship. Frankie's not even here. Did something happen? They must have heard that you were coming and decided to jump ship. She freezes in shock at the sound of Marie's voice. What? They can't be here. I must have imagined it. The others are probably getting supplies, so I'll go find them. She shakes her head and starts walking to get off the ship when she felt a gloved hand on her shoulder. Rick smirks at her shock as he turns her around. Now that's rude. Didn't your crazy parents teach you to look at people when they're talking to you? He punches her in the gut, causing her to fall to her knees to catch her breath while he grabs both of her wrists while Marie and Laura start approaching them. Rose looks at them in shock as she tries to get out of his grip, but it's no good as her energy is starting to fade from the gloves. Those gloves have sea stone in the knuckles. How did you guys get here? Laura snickers as she and Marie step up to them. Does it matter? We're here to bring you back. Did you honestly think you'd get away with ruining our lives so that you can go play pirate? Rose clenches her teeth as she infuses her leg with hockey and kicks him in the side, but he keeps a grip on her as he kicks her gut to knock the air out of her while Marie locks one of her wrists in a sea stone cuff. You're even more of a savage now than before, Rick says as he forces her up as she struggles while Marie puts the cuff on her other wrist. Not as much of a savage as you or Rick. Rose kicks Marie away then bites Rick's hands, causing him to let go as she rips the gloves off of him, spits them out then glares at them as she gets in a stance. She lightly pants in exhaustion from the cuffs while getting ready to fight as the 3 of them surround her. Do you honestly think I would just let you take me? I have a place here? What? With the group of people that you've been tricking this whole time? Marie says as she and Laura pounce on her, but she punches them out. but Rick runs in from behind and punches her to the ground. Rick smirks as Rose struggles to get up. Just face it. You knew you never had a place here. That's why you never told them the truth. Laura keeps her smirk as she and Marie pick her up by the arms. Once an outcast, always an outcast. But bringing you back can give us a good sum of cash after we sell you off to the government for your power. Who the hell are you guys? All four of them look in shock to see a confused Luffy on the deck. Once he saw Rose, his expression immediately changed to shock. Our Rose? Rose looks at him nervously. Hi Lou, she was slapped in the face by Rick. Shut up. He turns to Luffy with a friendly grin while not noticing Luffy walking up to him with clenched fists. Sorry for the trouble my foster child has caused. I'm going to take her back so that she doesn't mess with your life any. He was cut off by a punch in the face by Luffy. What the hell do you think you're doing? Rose, I'm gonna kick his ass, so hang tight. She blinks in shock before slowly nodding. Oh okay. Rick looks at them in utter shock as he staggers up. Hold on, I'm doing you a favor here. That crazy girl is nothing but trouble. She tricked you guys into thinking that she's from this world, right? I don't care about that. Rose is my pirate queen, you jackass. He pummels Rick while the girls are frozen in shock and a blush creeps onto Rose's face. That guy says that kind of stuff too easily. That's one of the things I love about him. Rose infuses her legs in hockey and kicks the girls in the gut to get them off of her, then steps back and glares at them. Just give up already. Even with the cuffs, I'm not going down so easily. Laura clenches her teeth in irritation as she recovers. I've had enough of this, I'm gonna take care of her myself. Laura takes out a pocket knife from her pocket and charges at Rose when a hand grew on Laura's arms and pinned them behind her back, causing her to drop the knife. What the? More hands grew on her and Marie until they were pinned uncomfortably on the ground. My. Looks like we have some unwanted guests on board. The girls look in shock to see Robin wearing a calm grin on her pale face and her arms crossed over her chest with Zira on her shoulder. There you are, Rose. I know you were excited to come back, but at least wait for me. Sit down so I can pick the cuffs off. Zira flies off of her shoulder in front of Rose as she sits down, then works on picking the cuffs while the twins look at Zira in shock. Marie struggles frantically. Why is that bird talking? And what's with these hands? Release us right now, you monsters. Now that's no way for ladies to be talking. Then again, it's hard to consider you women after what you did to Rose-chan. They look to see Sanji walking up behind them along with Ace, Zoro, Nami, Chopper, Frankie, Brook and Usopp on the deck. The group surrounds them while Luffy gave Rick an uppercut to send him flying and landed in front of the girls all beaten up. Zira finishes picking the cuffs, then steps away from them to pant from exhaustion. Thanks, Zira. Rose rubs her wrists while Nami and Chopper run up to her and help her up. You okay, Rose? Chopper asks. Yay, I'm okay. She looks to see the guys walking up to her foster family while furiously glaring at them. Usopp starts getting his slingshot ready. What should we do with them? Frankie cracks his knuckles. We'll kick them off the ship after we show them what happens when they mess with one of us. Ace lights his right hand on fire. I don't mind giving them a good roast. I just wish Luffy allowed us to take a crack at the shitty old man before pummeling him, Sanji says as he smokes his cigarette while glaring at them. The three of them start shivering in fear, then Marie clenches her teeth in frustration. Why are you guys defending her? She made you guys think she was one of you when the whole time she knew she was just an out. She was cut off with Zoro pointing a sword to her face, causing her to pale. Shut your mouth if you know what's good for you. Rose walks in front of them and touches the sword, indicating him to lower it. It's okay, guys. They're my problem. Robin, can you take the holds off of them, please? Robin nods as she cancels her hold on Marie and Laura, then they huddle together with their dad. Rose glares at them as she uses her wind to lift them in the air. There's something I've been wanting to say to you guys. Rose turns her arm into a twister, then softens her expression to a grin, causing them to look at her in shock. Thanks for being assholes. You guys helped motivate me to prove that the Timor Comet's real. And I found my place because of it. She twister punched them to send them flying to the opposite side of the island and knocked unconscious. She turns her arm back to normal, then turns to the others nervously. Hi guys. She scratches the back of her head nervously. Thank you for helping me deal with them. Sai, I know that I messed things up and I'm really. She was cut off when a hand stretched to grab hers and pulled her into Luffy's embrace. She blinked in shock, then looked up to see Luffy crying while holding her close. "Rose, you idiot. Do you think we care about that? I can't believe you're alive. What happened to you? Are you okay? Why didn't you?" Luffy was cut off when Ace places a hand on his shoulder. "I know you're excited, Lou, but one question at a time. First off, how did you survive?" Rose nods as she doesn't bother trying to get out of Luffy's hold. "Aokiji missed my vitals and your crewmates got me treated. By the time I woke up, the 2-year message was sent out." He nods when Nami steps up to them. "Then what about these?" She pulled out her letter along with everyone else, causing Rose to look at them in shock. "You guys kept those?" Usopp nods. "Of course we did. Half of that stuff was hard to believe, but then again, with you nothing's impossible." Rose sighs. "Every war, I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys in person. It was wrong of me to keep you in the dark for so long. And I'm so sorry for." Luffy turns her around in his hug so that he's looking her in the eye. "How many times are you gonna apologize already? Didn't you hear me say that it doesn't matter?" "Why yay, but no buts. You're not an outsider, you're a part of the crew. And I'm so glad you're alive." He starts tearing up again, causing Rose to wrap her arms around him while holding back from crying. "Thank you. I'm really glad to be back." The rest of the crew joins in the hug, then pulls back while Luffy wipes away his tears. "Guys, let's set sail for the new world." "Yay." Everyone starts getting ready to leave when Zera flies onto Rose's shoulder. "Glad you're back, Rose." She nods with a grin. "Yay. Good, then let's do this for real. Wake up, Rose." "Ah." Rose flies off the bed screaming while covering her ears from Zera screeching in her ear, then lands face first on the floor. She rubs her face while sitting up. "Ouch, seriously, Zera?" "Sorry, but you weren't waking up and the island's coming into view." "What?" Rose flew into the bathroom to get herself ready, then flew out with Zera to get on the deck with the crew except Usopp and Angela to see Sabaody Archipelago in their sights. Rose looks at the island with excitement. "I'm back, guys. Just hang on, Luffy." Shanks notices her excitement, then chuckles. Look at you. Just last night you were really nervous and now you're pumped." She nods. "I had a good dream last night and I'm done waiting." Ben softly laughs at the excitement. "Glad to hear that. This is as far as we can take you or the Marines will be onto us." She nods in understanding. "This is close enough. Zera and I can take the clouds from here." "Hang on, can I come too?" Shanks asks, causing everyone to look at him in confusion. "Why do you want to go?" Lucky Roo asks. "It's not every day I can see Rayleigh. Besides, if it gets as crazy as Rose says, then I don't mind backing them up." Rose nods. "Thanks for the help. Wait, Usopp should come with us too." "To see Usopp? Where is he anyway?" Lucky Roo points to the lower deck. "Angela found out that he was trying to hide his flu from her, so now he's trapped in the infirmary." "Let me out, Angela. I want to go see my son." Cough cough. The crowd freezes as they hear Usopp's voice from below deck. "Shut up, Yasopp. This is what you get for hiding it for 3 days. You're lucky you didn't infect the crew." They sweat drop at Angela's yelling. Rose sighs. Poor Usopp. She digs into her pocket and gives a picture to Lucky Roo. "Can you give this to Usopp for me? It's a copy of the picture of the crew that I made for him as thanks for teaching me observation hockey." He nods as he takes the picture from her, then pulls her into a hug while comically crying. "I'm gonna miss you, Rose. Tell Luffy we miss him too." She nods with a grin as she hugs him back. "I will, thanks, Lucky Roo." The rest of the crew joined in the hug while some of them were comically crying. "Ah, these 2 years were great, don't forget us. We'll miss you. I'll miss you guys too." Rose says as they let go. "Ready to go, Zera?" She nods as she waves to Monstar. "It's been fun, Monstar." He nods and gives her a thumbs up as she starts flying while Rose sends her and Shanks flying. Rose waves them off with a big smile as they reach the clouds. "Thank you guys for these past 2 years. I had a great time training. I'll see you in the new world." They wave them off from the deck as they make it into the clouds and start heading towards the island. Shanks looks around the cloud in amazement as they fly towards Sabaody Archipelago. "Wow, no wonder you love flying so much. So after you drop me off at Shacky's bar, you're gonna head over to the battle?" She nods. "Yup, I should say hi to the guys at the bar first, then I'll go find Luffy." He nods in agreement. Good idea. Man, won't really be in for a shock. Rose chuckles. I'm sure he's already suspicious with my aura. Zira flies up close. Oh, who cares about that? We're finally seeing the crew. Rose nods as she faces the island with a grin. Luffy, I'm coming. Hancock is on the deck of her ship with Luffy and Ace along with the Kuja warriors. She hands the boys a Kuja cloak for each of them. Wear these you too. Until you reunite with the others you shouldn't cause too much attention to yourselves. Luffy and Ace nod as they put the cloaks on. Thank you very much, Hancock. Ace says while she nods with a frown. Thanks, Hancock. Luffy says, causing her to start swooning. My pleasure, Luffy. Oh, before I forget, you two should wear these as well. She hands them each a fake mustache, then brings out a giant yellow backpack. I also brought some supplies for you, Luffy. 500 changes of clothes. Enough lunches for 1,000 men. Handkerchiefs, tissues, 3 years worth of water. Gloriosa twitches an eyebrow in irritation. Make it lighter. Ace sweat drops at the giant backpack. This woman is nuts. At least Luffy said no to her marriage proposals. He softly sighs, then practices his observation haki to ignore her swooning, then freezes in shock. What the? He focuses his haki to find a few auras flying towards the island, including a person with red aura. What the hell? Red aura? Rayleigh said only people like Rose can have that kind of. Hey Ace, come on already. He snaps out of it to Luffy's yelling and finds him on the small boat already. I'm coming, Lou. Thank you again for everything, Kuja pirates. He politely bows to the ladies before jumping off the boat and lands next to Luffy. I have to check this out while we're on the island. Hancock looks at Luffy nervously with a light blush on her face. Luffy, there is one thing I wish to ask of you. What is it? I'm not marrying you. She shakes her head. No, not that. What I wish is that you leave without saying farewell. He nods with a grin. I never say that anyway. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Ace starts getting the boat moving while Luffy waves the girls off. We're off, see you. Hancock happily blushes. He says we'll see each other again? Is that a proposal? Gloriosa shakes her head. It's Neot. Luffy turns to the island with a sad grin while Ace focuses on moving the boat. We're back on the island, Rose. Sigh, I wish you were here. He continues to stare at the island for the remainder of the boat ride while not knowing what will await him and the crew. Rose, Shanks and Zira landed in front of Shaki's bar where an expecting Rayleigh was waiting for them. Rayleigh casually grins as he walks up to them and pats Shanks on the shoulder. Now this is a pleasant surprise. Glad to see you're alive, Rose. So Shanks, what exactly happened? I'll explain everything, but first let's go inside. He nods as they walk inside to an injured Duval and the fish riders who are staring at Rose in utter shock while Shaki grins in amusement. Rose nervously waves at the guys while Shanks, Rayleigh and Zira sit at the bar. Hi guys. Long time no see. Duval shakes his head to recover from the shock. You're alive? How's that even possible? Does the rest of your crew know? She shakes her head. Not yet. Hee hee, they're gonna be in for a shock today. Hey Shaki, what number am I on the crew's arrival list? Shaki grins as she gets the drinks out for the group. You're number 9. Robin came by about an hour ago and should have arrived at the Sunny. So Shanks, what's the story here? She was barely hanging onto her life at the end of the war and the Whitebeards treated her, then I hid her on my ship while she was in a coma. She woke up after the 2-year message came out and we made an agreement that I'd train her in hockey while she stays hidden until the crew meets up. Rayleigh nods in understanding as he grins at Rose. You definitely look stronger. Luffy's gonna be thrilled. He really missed you. Rose nods. I missed him too. How was training him and Ace? I'm sure it was nuts. Definitely, it felt like I was back on the Oro Jackson with Roger. I had a great time training them. I'm glad to hear. Thank you for your help and thanks for coding the ship. She politely bows to him, then straightens up and turns to Shanks. I'm gonna go find Luffy now. Thank you again for everything, Shanks. I won't forget these 2 years. I'm sure I'll see you again when Luffy becomes the king of the pirates. Shanks gets up from his seat, then walks over to ruffle her hair. Don't be so formal. You're a pirate after all. Anchor made a good choice in his queen. I'm gonna miss having you around. Remember what I said last night too. Just go for the kiss. Rose whacks him on the head in irritation, then sighs. Man, You don't know when to quit. Hee. Thanks though, I'll keep that in mind. Ready to go see him, Zira? She nods as she flies off the counter, then smiles at the guys. Nice meeting you guys. The fish riders' jaws dropped in shock as they left. A talking bird? Shaki, Shanks and Rayleigh laugh at their reaction. Things are going to be pretty interesting today. Shaki says as she smokes her cigarette while the guys nod in agreement. Shanks grabs his drink while sitting back down. Before we help them out, want to catch up on old times, Rayleigh? He nods as he grabs his flask with a grin and joins him for a drink. Luffy and Ace land on the island and start walking. Luffy grins with excitement. I can't wait to see the crew. You're gonna love them, Ace. I'm sure I will. I can't wait for the new world. Ace grins, then focuses on his observation hockey to pinpoint the red ore's location, causing him to lose his smile. It's impossible for anyone to have that kind of aura except for Rose. Unless there are others that came to this world through the Timor Comet, it can't be anyone else but her. But she's dead, right? If I tell Luffy and it isn't her, it would only crush him. I gotta go check it out. Ace places a hand on Luffy's shoulder, causing him to stop and look at him in confusion. Something the matter, Ace? I need to go see Rayleigh about something important. Mind if we split up for a bit? I'll meet you at your ship after I talk to him. He tilts his head in confusion, then nods. Okay, just don't get lost. I'm gonna see if I can go find some of the others. He runs ahead while Ace nods. He turns to the ore's direction in irritation. If it really is Rose, she had better have a good explanation for what happened. He runs off to find her. Zoro and Sanji are walking together on Grove 41 to pick up some supplies. Zoro looks around. Before we go to the ship, I want to go fishing. Sanji twitches an eyebrow in irritation. Forget it, you dumb brute. I don't trust you to go out on your own after getting on the wrong boat last time. He twitches an eyebrow in irritation. Why should I listen to you? Because we're leaving soon, so just shut up and follow me. He scoffs. I'm number 1, I don't need to listen to number 7. Why are you turning the order we came in into some sort of ranking, you dumb marimo? Whatever, 7. By the way, do you know about Ace traveling with us? Sanji's anger fades at the question to irritation. Yay, I know, that ass. If Rose-chan didn't go save him, then she'd still be alive today. I know, but if Rose had just opened up to us and told us what was bothering her. He clenches his fists in rage, then shook his head. What's done is done. When we see Ace, I want him to tell us what happened at the war. Got any objections? He shakes his head. We deserve to know what happened to her. Luffy suffered enough by watching her die, so Ace should be the one to do it. Let's just go get the supplies we need. He nods as they continue shopping for supplies. Brook has just finished his concert in the Shabandome Concert Stadium and is talking to Shaki on the Dendenmushi. Thank you for warning me about the Marines, Shaki-san. However, I can't leave right away, for you see my fans are requesting an encore. I can't disappoint them. As soon as I finish, I'll head to the ship right away. Very well, Brook-chan. I'll get a fish rider to pick you up for when you're done. Break a leg. Shaki hangs up her end of the Dendenmushi. Brook hangs up his end, then picks up his guitar and looks at it softly. Today's the day we're leaving, Rose-san. I hope you're watching over us today. He walks onto the stage where the fans, musicians and dancers are waiting for him. The fans cheer for him as he's about to sing just before the Marines storm into the concert hall. Stop the music. The concert is over for you, Brook. The fans and musicians freeze as one of the Marines brings out his wanted poster and starts talking through the Dendenmushi. Soul King Brook. We have reason to believe that you are the acting captain of the Rumbar Pirates known as Humming Brook with a 33 million bounty. We also have information that you are one of the Straw Hat Pirates. You are under arrest, Pirate Brook. The fans look at him in shock. Soul King is a pirate? Hold on, isn't their Captain Straw Hat Luffy dead? Brook remains silent while his manager walks up on stage. It's all over, Brook. He turns to him. Manager, I thought this was your doing. He nods as he gets his gun out. When you told me you were quitting the music business to get back to your crew, it was a real shock. Because of your betrayal, we're gonna lose our business, so isn't it fair that you go down along with us? The Marines aim their guns at him. Drop the guitar and surrender now. He doesn't listen as he gets his guitar ready. My chorus, and my dancers. Would you join me in one last performance? The manager twitches an eyebrow in irritation. Are you crazy? It's over for you, Brook? He ignores him as he goes up to the microphone. I thank you, manager, for what you've done for me these past 2 years and for bringing me to the island. To all my fans, I thank you for your support. This island is known as the Isle of Regrets. For my crew, this place is a home to painful memories of the last day we saw one of our dear friends, Wind Rider Rose. This island, however, is also the Isle of New Beginnings. Today it's our duty to set sail once again, and my duty to make our future adventures enjoyable. You think Straw Hat Luffy is dead? That's preposterous. To all my fans, please spread the message for me that Straw Hat Luffy is truly alive. How can the departure of the man who will be king of the pirates be a quiet affair? The fans stare at him in awe while the reporters are calling their editors. K is getting ready to strum up his guitar. Luffy-san, let's go to the new world together. I hope you enjoy my final soul melody, yeah. The Marines try to attack the stage, but the fans are holding them and the manager back as he starts playing. Here's our final song, The New World. The fans cheer as they hold off the Marines until Brook finishes his song. Once he finishes, the crowd starts an uproar as the other musicians lead him away from the mob and outside where a fish rider is waiting for him. Thank you for your help, Fish-san. He climbs onto the fish while the fish rider nods with a grin. That's not my name, but it's okay if it's Soul King. Anytime, Soul King. Let's go. He flies away with Brook before the Marines could catch up to them and safely escape the concert hall. Usopp, Nami and Chopper run up to the Sunny where Robin and Frankie are waiting on the deck. Robin. Nami places her shopping bags on the deck, then runs up to her and hugs her. Robin grins as she hugs back. It's good to see you. You're looking well. Usopp and Chopper stare at Frankie's new features with stars in their eyes on the deck of the ship. You look so cool, Chopper says. Usopp nods in agreement. Right? You're like a mech. Frankie starts posing for them. I'm a truly super cyborg now. Usopp looks at him in confusion. Wait, wouldn't it be hard to do delicate ship maintenance with those giant hands? Frankie opens his hand and a tiny hand pops out of it and wiggles its fingers for them. Whatever do you mean? Chopper starts hyperventilating in excitement. Awesome. He goes to hug him, but Usopp holds him back. Take it easy, Chopper. You'll collapse from excitement. Nami's sweat drops at the excitement. What exactly is up with Frankie's body? Robin giggles at the excitement. I don't fully understand myself, but at least they're happy. Nami nods in agreement as she walks around the deck to observe the coating. Wow, so this is what the coating is like. Huh? She freezes when she notices Rose's wanted poster framed on the wall. She walks up to it sadly. Did you put this up, Frankie? Frankie stops showing off his features and looks at the poster softly while he and the others walk up to it. I thought that if we were leaving today that all of us should be here. I still can't believe that Freckles is gone. Chopper and Usopp look at the picture sadly while Robin turns to them. Everyone, I have a confession to make. When I told you guys that she was psychic, I knew the actual truth about her. I knew that she wasn't ready to tell you yet, and I felt that if Rose knew that you weren't upset about her knowing what would happen, she would feel more ready to tell you guys. I'm sorry. Nami goes up to her and pats her on the shoulder. It's okay. You made sure it was her choice to tell us. I think it helped her open up because when we arrived at the Red Line she told me the name of her hometown. She looks at her in shock before slowly nodding. Usopp nods in agreement. You did the right thing, Robin. Don't beat yourself up for it. Chopper goes up to hug her. Rose wouldn't want you to feel bad about it. She still managed to tell us the truth herself at least. Robin hugs him back while holding back from crying. Frankie nods in agreement. Freckles wouldn't want us to be sad today. I heard that Straw Hat's brother will be coming with us. When he comes we can ask him where his crew buried her so we can go give her a visit. Robin nods with a soft grin as she lets go of Chopper. Thank you guys. The others nod with a grin when Nami spots Rayleigh and Shaggy heading towards them. She waves to them happily. Rayleigh, Shaggy, good to see you guys. Rayleigh waves back with a grin. Hey guys. It looks like things are starting to pick up on the island. The group looks at them in confusion as they climb aboard the ship. What kind of things? Chopper asks. Shaggy puffs a smoke from her cigarette before speaking. The Marines are on the island and they've mistaken the fake Monkey Chan's crew for the real thing. I've informed Brook Chan of the situation through a Den Mushi and he said he will be arriving shortly. Frankie lifts up his sunglasses in surprise. So he's giving up on being a star? that skeleton is a real man. Rayleigh nods, then gives the coding instructions to Nami. You're the navigator, right, Nami? Here is all that you need to know in order to work the coding. She nods as she takes the instructions. I'll do my best. Usopp looks at him in confusion. Wait, what about Luffy and Ace? They're not here yet. Don't worry. Luffy and Ace are already on the island. Rayleigh grins at their excitement at the news, then notices Rose's wanted poster on the wall. They really miss her. It's better not to spoil the surprise. Grove 42 is a safe bet for you guys to reunite. Once the whole crew gets back together, you better be ready, because after 2 long years all of you will be setting sail again. They nod while Shaggy and Rayleigh get off the ship and start walking. Are you sure it's okay not to tell them that Rose is alive? Shaggy asks. Rayleigh nods. It wouldn't be nice to spoil Rose's surprise. Besides, they wouldn't have fully believed me until they saw her for themselves. She nods in understanding, then grins. I'm sure they're gonna be happy. He nods in agreement as they walk off to the next grove. Can't wait to see what happens. Rose walks around Sabah de Archipelago Grove 14 on an empty street with her black mask on while Zira relaxes on her shoulder. Zira sighs as she looks around. So Rose, why aren't we flying? And why did you put the mask back on? Rose scratches the back of her head sheepishly. I kinda forgot which grove the meeting was at. I'm gonna head into one of the taverns that might have a poster for the meeting, then head over. As for the mask, even though everyone thinks I'm dead, it's better safe than sorry, so I don't cause a scene. Right now, Luffy and Ace should either be knocking out the imposters or at the meeting. Hold it right there. Rose and Zira freeze in shock at the sound of Ace's voice but don't turn around. Zira turns to Rose nervously. Rose, what do we do here? He still thinks you're Rukia. I have no idea. Wait, why isn't he with Luffy? Ace runs in front of them, then freezes in shock. Are Rukia? Zira, what are you guys doing here? Rose looks at him in shock while Zira waves at him. Ace, hey, long time no see, Rukia and I are actually here to reunite with our crew. He looks at them in shock. What? Wait a minute, the red aura belongs to Rukia. Now that I look at her, she has the same hair and eye color as Rose, so they might be related. Wait, seriously? Hold on, why is your aura red, Rukia? Are you related to Windrider, Rose? Rose widens her purple eyes in shock, then internally groans. Of course that's how he found me. Shit, I might as well tell him now. She sighs as she reaches for the mask and starts unsecuring it. For your first question, my aura is red because I'm from another world. As for your second question, no, I'm not related to Rose, I am her. She takes off the mask and nervously grins and waves while putting the mask away. Long time no see, Ace. His jaw falls to the ground in shock. What the hell? He recovers, then rubs the bridge of his nose to calm himself down. Okay. I have plenty of questions, but I think this one is the most important right now. How old are you? She twitches an eyebrow in irritation, then whacks him on the head. Seriously? Of all the questions you chose that one? I'm the same age as Luffy? He massages his aching head in irritation. What was wrong with that question? And how can you be as old as Luffy when you met us as a teenager when we were kids? Zira and I were sent to the past last year. He blinks in surprise. How did that happen? Zira groans. Let's just say Luffy has more than one crazy grandparent. Speaking of which, where is he? We've split up so that I can track Rose's aura. He freezes. How the hell did you survive the war? Rose looks at him, noticing that. Aokiji missed my vitals, then Shanks and your crewmates saved me. When I woke up, Shanks kept me hidden and trained me in hockey. What? Why didn't my crewmates tell me this when I called them? She sighs in exasperation. They said you hung up on them before they could tell you because you were being chased by Kuja girls. He froze in utter shock for a minute, then face-palmed while groaning in annoyance. You gotta be kidding me. Sigh, as long as you're okay, it's... He stopped himself before grinning in excitement and grabs her shoulders. Oh man. This is great. Do you know how happy Luffy will be when he finds out you're alive? Come on. Let's go find him. He grabs her wrist and starts running with her. Zira flies in front of him. Hold on, do you know where he is? He stopped himself. Right, hold on. He uses his observation haki to sense Luffy, then quirks an eyebrow in confusion. Huh? Looks like he's with some people. I don't think they're his crewmates though. Rose sighs. It looks like the imposters are with him now. I'll explain later. Do you know which grove they're heading to? He nods. It looks like they're heading to Grove 46. She nods in excitement. Great, then I hope you don't mind flying. Whoa. Ace couldn't finish as he, Rose and Zira start flying, hide in a cloud and start heading to the grove. Ace immediately recovers from the shock, then looks at Rose softly. Rose, about what I said to you as a kid. She shakes her head with a soft grin. Don't worry about it. After all, you weren't wrong about me hiding things too much. He softly sighs. I still shouldn't have said it, and for that I'm sorry. It's okay. Oh right. After we parted in the past, I found out something awesome. Once we're off the island, I'll tell you and Luffy. I can't wait to see the looks on their faces when I tell them about Sabo. Really, I look forward to it. By the way, what exactly is going on? She smirks in excitement as she starts creating a ring of wind to circle around her right arm and turns that arm into wind vibrations. I can't wait to test out this new move. With my fist vibrating this fast, I can crush the pacifista, then send him flying with the wind rain. We're gonna be facing a small army of marines, pirates and a few pacifistas before escaping the island. I hope you're ready for a good fight. He blinks in surprise before smirking and turning his arms into fire. Can't wait. The fake Luffy smirks at his audience of pirate captains as the fake Sanji and Zoro bring the real Luffy on the stage while not recognizing that it's him under his mask and cloak. The fake Luffy points to him with pride. Looks like we found one of the culprits who humiliated me. We're gonna teach him a lesson today. The crowd of pirates cheer while the real Luffy looks at them in confusion and turns to the fake Zoro and Sanji. Do you know this guy? Before they can respond, everyone freezes at the sound of marines running in and surrounding the pirates. This is as far as you go, Straw Hats. Come quietly, we have the grove surrounded. The real Luffy looks at them in shock. How did they know I was here? Fake Zoro looks at him in confusion. What the hell are you going on about? Captain, what do we do here? I don't. Let's show them what it means to be in Straw Hat Luffy's crewmen. We'll take care of them for you, boss. Caribou yells as the other pirates cheer in agreement and start fighting them off. Luffy blinks in confusion. Why are they calling me boss? Fake Luffy growls in irritation. You idiots, WHO told you to charge at them? Ah. The fake Straw Hats freeze in horror as they find 4 pacifistas attacking the pirates. Sentomero looks at the crowd in confusion. I thought Fire Fist would be with them too? Oh well. With 4 pacifistas we should be able to capture the Straw Hats. One of the pirates yell out desperately. Straw Hat boss, do some huh? Where did he go? They look to see the fake Luffy running only to be confronted by Sentomero. The pirates start cheering for him. Take down Sentomaro, Straw Hat. Sentomero looks at him in confusion. Why are they calling you Straw Hat? He smirks at him while hiding his fear. Don't you know who you're talking to? If you don't want to get destroyed, then get out of my way. I'm Straw Hat Lu. He whacks him with the blunt side of his broad axe. Straw Hat Luffy isn't a worthless piece of trash like you. The pirates and marines stare at them in shock while Sentomero turns to one of the pacifistas. PX5, who is this guy? PX5 starts analyzing him. Pirate Damalo Black. Bounty worth 26 million belly. What? The pirates scream in shock while some of the fake Straw Hats start making a run for it. Some of the pirates chase them in fury while the rest were surrounded by the marines. Sentomero glares at the pirates. The deceivers may be fools, but it's over for you lot. It's crazy though, it seems the real Straw Hat is on the island as well. The PX5 detected him as soon as he stepped foot here. Take him out, PX5. PX5 complies as he shoots a beam out of his mouth at the stage, but Luffy easily dodged with his bag while removing his mask and cloak. Luffy looks at them in irritation. Man, what was that about? My food's in this bag, you know. Everyone on the island but Sentomero and the pacifistas stare at him in utter shock. It's the real Straw Hat Luffy. Luffy huffs in annoyance. Don't tell me you guys are gonna get in my way again. I'm going to the new world this time. Sentomero points to Luffy. You're not going anywhere. PX5, 3, and 8 surround him. The pacifistas complied while Luffy got in second gear, then jumps in the air. Gum Gum Jet Pistol. He punches through the pacifista and destroys it while the another opens his mouth to fire a beam at him while he's still in midair. Fire Fist. Ace blasts him from the sky to destroy him, then lands with Luffy. Luffy stares at him in shock while the third pacifista gets ready to attack them from behind. He came down from the sky? How is that possible? Unless, he looks at him nervously. Ace, how did you? Sonic wind. Luffy froze in utter shock while his heart skipped a beat at the sound of Rose's voice. He immediately turns around to see Rose fly down in front of the pacifista to punch his gut with her wind vibrations, creating a large dent, then blasted the ring of wind to send him spinning and crashing to a tree and explode. Zero stays away from the battle from above while Rose lands right in front of Luffy with a grin. Hi Luffy, it's great to see you. Are you ready to go to the new world? Tears start brimming in Luffy's eyes while he's frozen in shock. Are Rose? She slowly nods as she grabs his hand and starts flying with him, Ace and the bag. Yup, I'm back. I really missed you. Everyone else on the grove froze in shock as they stared at them. Centimero was the first to recover from the shock. Windrider Rose is alive? Get the men? Ace cracks his knuckles in excitement while the Marines start charging. Rose, put me down and get Luffy out of here. I can hold them off for you. She nods as she puts him down and starts flying higher with a still frozen Luffy. Okay, Zoro and Sanji will be here soon. They can take you to the ship. He nods as he starts blasting the Marines while Rose and Luffy start heading to the next grove with a few Marines following. Get them. They get ready to shoot when they were suddenly knocked out by Shanks' Conqueror's Haki. He casually sits on a nearby rooftop and grins at the escaping couple. Good luck, Rose. Rose drops the bag next to them, then lands in an alley with Luffy and sees that he's still frozen in shock with tears in his eyes. She looks at him softly as she lets go of his hand, then bites her lip. Luffy, I know it must be weird to see me again. I am so sorry about what happened and about not telling you about. Luffy cuts her off as he wraps his arms around her and locks her lips in a kiss. She blinks in surprise with a blush creeping onto her face before WRA him and kissing him back. After a minute he pulls back and starts crying as he keeps a hold of her. It really is you, Rose. Sob, what the hell happened to you? Why didn't you tell me you were alive? Why didn't you tell me the truth about where you came from? Sob asterisk. Rose looks at him nervously while holding back from crying and keeps her arms around him. Aokiji missed my vitals. Shanks and the Whitebeards found out and saved me. After I found out what happened, you were the first person I wanted to go to, but it was too risky to go off on my own. Shanks then agreed to train me in Haki these past 2 years while hiding me. He blinks in surprise, wipes his tears, then pouts. You still kept being from another world from us. You shouldn't have been scared, Baka. Don't you know how cool that is? I can't hate you for something like that. I love you. Rose blinks in surprise before softly grinning with tears in her eyes and holds onto him tightly. Thank you. I love you too, and I'm sorry for not telling you the truth. He nods in approval, then starts grinning. It's fine. So what else do you know? That your grandma can time travel. He looks at her in shock. I have a grandma? She nods. Yup, she sent me to the past last year. By the way, here's someone you ought to remember, Zira. Zira flies down next to them, causing Luffy to have stars in his eyes. Zira? Whoa, you're here too? She nods. Yup, I came here with Rose. Can I join the crew? He widens his eyes in shock, then eagerly nods. Yay. That would be awesome. Wait, what happened to Rukia? She should come too. He looks around in confusion, causing Zira to sigh. She's the girl you're hugging. Luffy looks at Rose for a second before shaking his head and scowling at Zira. This isn't Rukia, you dumb bird, this is Rose. Zira twitches an eye in irritation. You're the dumb one here. Rose laughs, causing them to stop bickering. I'll explain everything about Rukia later. Right now we gotta get going. He nods with a toothy grin as he lets go, puts on his backpack, then picks Rose up bridal style. Oh man, everyone's gonna be so psyched when they see you. Let's get back to the ship before the Marines get here. Rose's blush doubles as she tries to get down, but he doesn't let her. My legs aren't broken, Luffy. Put me down. He shakes his head as he starts running with her while Zira follows. No way. Until we're at the ship, I'm not putting you down. You can use your wind to get us flying if you want. He hasn't changed a bit. She softly sighs, then grins as she wraps her arms around him and uses her wind to lift them up. Alright, let's get going. She. Yay. To the new world. He couldn't stop grinning as they soar through the air. Then he sees Rayleigh up on a hill next to them. "Rayleigh, thanks for everything. This time I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the king of the pirates." Rayleigh softly grins while happy tears start forming in his eyes while Luffy and Rose get away. Rose waves at him while focusing her wind. "Thanks for the help, Rayleigh." Rayleigh nods. "Good luck to you guys." He spots the Marines pursuing them, then jumps off the hill and unsheathes his sword, causing them to jump back in shock. "Dark King Rayleigh, you're helping out the Straw Hats?" He nods as he uses his sword to create a line on the ground between him and the Marines. "My apprentices are gonna set sail today. You can do as you please, but I suggest that you don't cross this line if you know what's good for you." They jolt in fear for a second before charging at him while Luffy, Rose and Zero are getting away. Sanji, Ace and Zoro are making a run for it from the Marines while Perona is holding them off with her ghosts. "So what the hell happened to Luffy?" Zoro asks as they keep running with the ship in their sights. Ace grins. "He's catching up with someone important to him. Don't worry, you guys will see them soon. It's a good idea not to spoil the surprise." "I doubt they believe me anyway." Sanji glares at him. "Before Luffy makes it to the ship, I want you to tell the crew what happened to Rose. It will be too painful for Luffy to talk about it and we deserve an explanation." Ace slowly nods as his grin starts to fade. "I understand. I also want to apologize for what happened. Even though they didn't fight in the war, it still caused them pain. I should tell them what happened then. When Luffy and Rose arrive, I'll tell them what Rose told me." Both guys nod as they see the Sunny in their sights. They jump onto the ship to see the rest of the crew look at them happily. "Hi guys," Zoro says as the crew approaches them. Nami grins in excitement as she sees them. "Guys, it's great to see you again. Long time no see, Ace." Ace waves while Brook stops strumming his guitar and walks up to him. "So you're Ace-san? How do you do? My name is Brook. It's a pleasure to meet you." Frankie steps up. "What's up, Firefist? I'm Frankie, I'm the crew's super shipwright." Robin grins as she walks up to him. "My name is Robin. I'm the crew's archaeologist." He blinks in surprise. Luffy's really good at picking strange people. They seem like good people though. He grins then politely bows. "It's a pleasure to meet you." They politely bow back. "Pleasure's all mine." They straighten up while Sanji starts having hearts in his eyes as he sees the girls and blood starts trickling down his nose. Melorine, Nami Swan, Robin Schwan, and R.O. He cuts himself off as he remembers that Rose isn't there, then sighs as he wipes the blood off and grabs a cigarette. Usopp frowns for a moment at what happened, then shakes his head and starts grinning. "It's great to see you guys. Wait." He and the others look around to see that Luffy isn't with them. Chopper tilts his head in confusion. "Where's Luffy?" Ace slightly frowns. They're all still upset. "Even though Rose is alive, it's still my fault for what happened. Luffy's catching up with someone and is on his way. Before they come back, I want to apologize to you all. If Rose didn't have to save me, then none of that would have happened. I want to tell you all what happened at the war before Luffy arrives, if that's okay with you." The others look at him sadly, then nod as Ace sits on a barrel while the others surround him. Chopper, Frankie, and Usopp hold back from crying as they stand together. Brook holds his guitar and stares at it sadly. Sanji and Zoro glare at Ace in irritation while Nami and Robin stand next to each other with frowns on their faces. Ace sighs as he looks at them softly. "Rose, please come here soon, okay? I should go to the beginning of the war when Rose first arrived. I was locked onto the platform when Sengoku walked up next to me and was getting ready to announce my secret. I guess as a way to humiliate me before I died." Before he could say anything though, Rose dropped tornadoes all over the upper yard of Marineford to distract them. Then she sent Sengoku flying in a tornado just before she swooped in and created a barrier around us and tried to pick my cuffs off. Robin looks at him in shock. "Rose can pick sea stone cuffs?" "I think she learned sometime when you guys separated, because it took a long time for her to get close to finishing. While she was struggling with the cuffs, Sengoku revealed her secret to the world." Zoro, Frankie and Sanji clench their fists in rage while the rest look at him sadly as he continued. "We couldn't hear anything through her barrier, but she reassured me that it was her secret that was told and that mine was safe. I was so mad that this random girl was going through such lengths to help me that I jerked the cuffs away and demanded to know why she was trying so hard to save me." He chuckles at the memory. She listed some reasons why she was doing it to get me to shut up, including, "We freckled logia users ought to stick together." The group chuckled at that, then softly grinned for a moment before sadly looking at him again. He sighs. She didn't tell me that she was in Luffy's crew at the time, but she warned me not to fall just before she could get the cuffs off. Gramps managed to break through her barrier and punched her off the platform. Marco caught her, then she and the Whitebeards started fighting off the Marines. Later on, Luffy arrived, but Rose was too caught in her own fight to be able to catch up to him. Luffy made it to the platform and used a key to get me out of my cuffs, then we started making a run for it. I didn't know what happened to Rose, so I searched the battlefield for her and told Luffy what she did for me. He immediately recognized her, but before we could find her, Akainu started taunting me by making fun of Whitebeard. I didn't listen to Rose and fell for it by trying to blast him, but he overpowered me. He went for Luffy next when I went in front of him to take the blow, but before I felt any lava, Rose picked both me and Luffy up with her wind and got us away from the attack. He chuckles as he rubs his nose. She immediately punched me in the nose for not listening to her and almost getting myself killed. The group blinked in surprise, then started laughing. Brook claps while laughing. Yo ho ho ho. That's Rose-san for you. Usopp nods while laughing. Ha ha ha. She kept that habit to the end. He recovers, then sighs and rubs his nose softly at remembering the time her kid self kicked him in the nose. Chopper nods in agreement before looking at Ace sadly. Was that when? Ace's smile starts to fade. Well, Luffy and I were out of energy, so Jinbei had to carry us while Rose helped the Whitebeards make a path for him. When we made it to the docks, the ocean was already frozen by Aokiji. Then Akainu started pursuing us, so we jumped to try to get away and Buggy managed to catch us, but he kept coming at us. Rose managed to send Akainu flying before he could hurt us, but before she could join us, Aokiji attacked her and trapped them both in an ice barrier. They look at him in shock as he kept going. Luffy and I both tried to get to her, but Jinbei held us back and we were too weak to fight him off. Trafalgar Law then came by with his submarine and we were dropped onto the deck. We kept struggling while Jinbei and Jean Bart held us back while my crewmates broke through the barrier. Aokiji attacked my crewmates, but before he completely froze them, she attacked him, placed them on a ship, then tried flying to get away from him as he pursued her. Tears started to brim in the crew's eyes except Zoro, who is clenching his fists in rage. Ace looked at them softly, then used his observation haki to see that Rose and Luffy are getting close to the grove. I'd better finish the story. While Aokiji pursued her, Luffy and I continued to try to get off the sub, but it was no good as we watched him knock her out. Law had me sedated and carried into the sub, but before Luffy was knocked out, he saw Aokiji stab Rose in the stomach. The crew couldn't hold back from crying anymore. Nami and Robin hugged each other while the guys huddled together while Zoro sat down against the railing while covering his face with his hand. Ace sighs before softly grinning. However, this story has a happy ending. The crew freezes and looks at him in utter confusion. Does he think it's a joke or something? Zoro recovers and glares at Ace. What the hell are you talking? Guys! Look who's back! Luffy yells. Hi guys, numbers 9 and 10 have arrived. Let's go to the new world. The crew freezes in utter shock at the sound of Rose's voice while Ace continued. Aokiji missed Rose's vitals and my crewmates got her treated before she lost her life. Then Shanks kept her hidden to protect her and train her until today's reunion. The crew blinks in surprise for a moment before immediately running to the railing to see Luffy flying to the ship with Rose in his arms and landed on the deck while Zero landed on the railing. Wow, they look different from the picture, but they still look awesome. Zero looks at them in excitement while the crew looks at Rose in utter shock as Luffy puts her down. Our Rose-chan? Sanji stuttered in shock as the group approached her. Rose rubs the back of her head nervously. Hi there everybody. I know I got a lot of explaining to do and I'm really sorry about oomph. She was cut off as she and Luffy were pulled into a hug by Chopper, Usopp, Brook, Frankie and Nami, who are all crying. Sanji runs to join them, but the hug stumbles, causing him to miss and fall on his face. Robin grins at the group while tearing up with joy. Zoro and Ace smile at the group hug while Sanji recovers and weeps with joy. Chopper starts sobbing and couldn't stop weeping in joy. Wah? I can't believe you're back, Rose. Did you know that she was alive this whole time, Luffy? Luffy shakes his head while stretching his arms around the group with a big grin. I was just as surprised as you guys. Usopp keeps weeping. Do you know how we felt when we thought you died, Rose? Those letters you gave us along with the article packed a punch? Rose starts tearing up, then hugs them back. I'm so sorry, guys. Nami wipes her tears as she gets out of the hug. You better be. I'm still gonna fine you for this, but I'm glad you're okay. Brooke sniffles while crying. I'm so glad I'm the only dead one again. For old time's sake, may I see your panties? Rose chuckles while shaking her head. No way. Frankie couldn't stop bawling. Wah? I'm so glad you're back, Freckles. Rose wipes away her tears with a grin as they let go of her. I'm glad to be back, thank you, and boom. Asterisk, she was cut off when they look out to see a battleship coming and trying to fire at them. Oh crap. We gotta go. We can finish the reunion underwater. Nami nods as she and Frankie start following the instructions to get the coating ready. Rose walks over to Zira. Guys, this is my friend Zira. She's a falcon that ate the sound fruit and was experimented on by Dr. Vegapunk to receive human intelligence. Zira nods as she flies onto her shoulder. It's nice to meet you guys. I talked to Luffy and he said that it's okay to join the crew. Robin giggles as she pets her head. It's nice to meet you as well. I look forward to getting to know you. Usopp looks at her in excitement. That's so cool, now we have 2 talking animals with us. Chopper nods in excitement while Brooke looks at her with excitement. Her devil fruit sounds like music to my ears. Oh wait, I don't have any ears, yo ho ho ho. Frankie finishes the directions and the coating starts to expand, then gets in his signature pose in excitement. Today just keeps getting more and more super. Zoro quirks an eyebrow then sighs. Just when I thought this crew couldn't get any weirder. Zira twitches an eyebrow in irritation then flies in front of him. What was that, you broccoli head? It's not broccoli, it's moss. The crew laughs at the squabble. So Rose has a talent of attracting weird ones too. Nami sighs then chuckles. Welcome to the crew, Zira. She calms down then nods. Thank you. She lands on the deck in front of Chopper. From one talking animal to another, let's be friends. He nods with a grin. I like that. So what kind of sounds can you make? Zira shifts her voice to sound like Chopper. Sounds like this. Whoa, he, Usopp, Brooke and Luffy look at her in excitement as she keeps shifting her voice for them. Sanji looks at Rose with hearts in his eyes as blood starts trickling down his nose. I'm so happy you're alive, Rose-chan. I guess it is true that you can't kill an angel. Rose looks at him in shock then points to his nose. Sanji, your nose is bleeding. He quickly wipes it off. My apologies, I'm just so happy that all 3 of our beautiful ladies have returned. Luffy stops looking at Zira and sees Sanji flirting with Rose. Huh? Why do I feel annoyed all of a sudden? Rose raises her hands defensively to Sanji. Right, there's something I gotta tell you, Sanji. You see Luffy and I, whoa. She was cut off as Luffy stretched his hand to grab hers and he pulled her into his embrace. She blinks in surprise as she sees him scowling at Sanji. Is he jealous? Ebro in irritation. What's the matter with? Boom. Asterisk, he was cut off as the sound of cannon fire gets closer and they look to see the battleship getting closer while the coating is halfway finished. The lieutenant starts shouting, "Take them down, men. Love arrow." They look in shock to see the Kuja's ship attacking the battleship. Robin looks at it in fascination. Is that a Kuja ship? That means Boa Hancock's here. Sanji immediately recovers then searches for her until he spots her and he immediately turns to stone. Usopp looks at him in shock. What the? He turned to stone on the spot. Oh crap. Who knows what'll happen if Hancock knows I'm alive. Rose tries to get out of Luffy's embrace but he keeps a hold of her until she turns her body into wind to get out until she was blocked by Ace right next to Luffy. Ace looks at her in surprise as he keeps blocking her. She knows that Hancock's in love with Luffy too. That can't be the reason she's hiding though, right? What's the matter? Is it about Hancock? She nods as she gives up trying to hide. Yay, you see. Thanks, Hancock. Luffy yells while waving at her and not noticing the tension. He thanked me. Hancock blushes and happily turns to the crew until she spots Rose next to Luffy. What the? That witch is alive. She glares at Rose while Ace sweat drops and the crew looks at her in shock as the coating is almost finished. Zoro turns to Rose in confusion. What did you do to piss off the Snake Princess? Rose rubs the back of her head sheepishly. Hancock and I kind of got into a fight during the war. Somehow she got this crazy idea that I could use. Rose, you evil devil, release your love spell on Luffy. I won't stop coming after you until you do so. Rose was cut off by Hancock's yelling, causing the group to widen their eyes in shock. Ace and the crew except Luffy and Rose blink in shock before staring at Luffy. Seriously, what the hell is with Luffy and the girls? Luffy's eyes are hidden behind his bangs to hide his emotions as he walks up to Rose. Rose looks at him nervously as she raises her hands defensively. Oh crap, don't tell me he believes her. Hold on Luffy, I can't perform love. He grabs Rose and locks her in an embrace before glaring at Hancock. Hancock, leave Rose alone. She's not a devil, she's my pirate queen. Hancock and the crew's but Robin and Rose's jaws fell to their feet in utter shock. Rose is frozen with her face completely red while Robin giggled at the reaction. Ace falls to the ground while laughing. Ha ha ha, oh man, that's my brother, ha ha ha. Zira nods in approval while joining Ace in laughing. Ha ha ha. You haven't changed since you were a kid Luffy, that was great. Luffy. Hancock falls to the ground in tears while the Kujas help her up after they destroyed the battleship and retreated. The others but Rose recovered. What the hell Luffy, when did this happen? Usopp asks. Luffy grins while keeping a hold of Rose. She kissed me just before we separated in Sabaody, so we're a couple now. Chopper looks at her in shock. Is this true Rose? She slowly nods while blushing. Why yay, he didn't need to shout it out, it was still sweet of him though. Nami and Robin grin in excitement while Sanji falls to his knees while crying. Why does the shitty captain have all the luck? Zoro sighs. It's not like you had a chance with her. What did you say? He and Zoro glare at each other while Brook laughs. Yo ho ho. Today really is great. I'll be sure to play a song to celebrate. Frankie nods. We can do that after we get out of here. The coding just finished. We're ready when you're captain. Luffy nods in approval while Rose gets out of Luffy's embrace to join the group. Before we leave guys, I want to thank you for waiting 2 years to reunite. The group grins as Luffy takes a deep breath then yells out. Let's set sail for Fishman Island. Yosh. The crew cheers as the Sunny dives underwater and sets sail for the new world. The ship safely makes it underwater, causing everyone to look around in fascination at the sea creatures swimming around them. Wow, this is amazing, Zira says. It's so pretty, Chopper says. You can't get a view like this from the window of a submarine, Frankie says. Luffy looks at the ocean with excitement. The sea sure is pretty. Ace nods. Reminds me of when the Whitebeards and I traveled down here the first time. Look at this. Brook points to one of the roots of Sabaody archipelago in amazement, causing them to look at it in excitement. Nami looks at the ocean in awe. It's like we're leaving the human world behind. Usopp looks around with worry. We were able to make it back to the surface, right? Not that I'm scared or anything. Rose nods. Don't worry, we'll make it to Fishman Island. The group freezes and turns to Rose, causing her to sweat drop then rub the back of her head sheepishly. Right, we gotta talk about that, hee hee, yay sorry about, well everything. Zoro takes his letter from his pocket. You being from some other world is true? She slowly nods. Why yay. Nami walks up to her and whacks her on the head. You dummy. You should have just told us. Do you really think we can hate you for something like that? Rose looks at them softly. I wasn't sure how you guys would react and that made me nervous, I'm sorry. Brook shakes his head. You shouldn't apologize so much, Rose-san. You were in a strange situation, so it's understandable that you were nervous. Sanji nods. You should know that angels like you are welcome here no matter what. Rose sighs. But I still tricked you guys, I'm really sorry about that. Chopper goes up to her and hugs her. I would have done the same thing if I was you. Rose hugs him back with a soft grin. Thanks, Doc. Robin nods with a grin. I'm glad we're on the same page now. So Rose, how much left of our adventures do you know? She lets go of Chopper. I know about 2 more of the crew's adventures left. Frankie nods. So you knew about Kuma then? She nods. Yay, that's one of the reasons I allowed his attack to happen. I'm not sure of his full reasoning though. The group quirks an eyebrow in confusion, causing Frankie to face them. Kuma is a revolutionary. After he separated us, he told Rayleigh that he allowed the Marines to experiment on him little by little until he lost his personality completely. He agreed to it on the condition that he would be given a mission to protect our ship until one of us arrived. Ace looks at him in confusion. Why would he go so far? Rose sighs. We don't know. It might have something to do with Luffy being Dragon's son, but it's unclear. Luffy nods. So the bear guy's a good guy, huh? I'm glad. Sanji starts flaming up. What part of him is good? He sent me to hell. He freezes, then turns to Rose. Not that I'm blaming you, Rose-chan. You allowed it to happen to get us stronger. Ace widens his eyes at remembering what Rose said. When we parted in the past, I found out something great. Oh yay, Rose. You said you found out something in the past that Luffy and I should know. What is it? Zira grins in excitement as she flies onto Rose's shoulder. Ready, Rose? She eagerly nods, then faces the guys. I found out that Sabo is alive. Ace and Luffy freeze in shock while Usopp looks at her in confusion. Who's Sabo? He's Luffy and Ace's brother. When he was a kid, he tried to escape his noble parents by sailing away, but celestial dragons blew up his ship. He survived, but he had amnesia and got his memories back after the war. Robin looks at her in shock. You're not referring to Sabo of the Revolutionaries, are you? Yay, it's him. Dragon saved him from drowning after the explosion. Sabo begged him to stay with them in order to stay away from his parents without remembering the boys. Zoro takes a swig of his sake in irritation while Sanji and Nami look at the boys softly. Chopper tears up. That's so sad. Frankie starts crying. Wah, poor kid. I'm not crying, assholes. Brook looks at them sadly. Tee's alive. Luffy runs up to Rose, causing Zira to fly off as he grabs her shoulders. Are you absolutely sure, Rose? She nods with a grin. Yup. Your grandma sent me to the past in order to become friends with Sabo so that his memories can return through my death article. She told me he'll come find us on an island called Dressrosa, so don't worry. Ace widens his eyes at this, then clenches his fists. If Rose's death gave his memories back, then that means my death would have been the trigger. What kind of cruel fate is that? He sighs, walks up to her and politely bows to her. Thank you for saving my life. She grins. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're okay. Luffy hugs her and spins with her in excitement. This is the best day ever, guys. Get ready to party. Yay! The group cheers as they start celebrating. Brook starts playing his guitar while half the crew dances to the music. Sanji starts eating while tearing up about Rose, while Zoro takes a swig of his sake and smiles at the dancing crew. Nami and Robin sit out and happily watch Rose and Luffy dancing together. Rose happily grins as she dances with Luffy. I can't believe we're back. I love these guys. She couldn't stop smiling for the rest of the day as the crew celebrated their reunion and continued on their journey to Fishman Island. To be continued.